That's our history. That's our way. You understand? You know, black people hard-headed. You know what I mean? You know, we use that for the Lord. Let's get First Maccabees. Let's go to, matter of fact, go to chapter 6. Let's see what's in chapter 6. Matter of fact, chapter 7, verse 1. Start that. Let's see what that. Start reading that.
The book of First Maccabees.
Wait, could everybody clap it up for all the brothers who made it here? Travel from far, wide. You understand, to be here with with the brothers from Las Vegas and the West Coast. See Officer DeBar Moff in the back, Dawada. You know what I mean? All the way from South Carolina. You understand? It's a beautiful sight to see all you brothers. You understand? Let's get the scripture. Real loud.
The book of First Maccabees.
Turn the face down.
The book of First Maccabees, chapter 7, verse 1.
Go ahead.
In the 150th year, Demetrius, the son of Seleucus, departed from Rome.
All right, now these are the Romans, right? The Greeks and the Romans, they were brothers. They were kin. They all started from Esau, from the cavemen, the cave people. Okay, so then they came out and them two empires were born. Go ahead.
And came up with a few men unto a city of the seacoast.
Well, no, we can't do that. We got a barber too. I think we'll have a barber. Go ahead, keep reading.
And came up with a few men unto a city of the seacoast and reigned there. And as he returned into the place of his ancestors, so it was that his forces had taken Antiochus and Lysias to bring them unto
Lysias.
him.
So these are all famous Greeks and Romans. Okay, because the Greeks and Romans, they had beef. They had beef at the start. You understand? They had beef because really the Greeks started off as the most powerful. And then the Romans, they came up later. All right, go ahead.
Verse 3. Wherefore, when he knew it, he said, let me not see their faces.
Hold on one sec. Let me get to where you at. That's not. I don't know if that's the scripture I want right now. I think Second Maccabees 6 or 7. Oh, I think General Mahayaman. I let him break that one down. That's his one. Okay. Let's see. Go to 2 Maccabees chapter 8, verse 1. Let's start there. All right. So I'm going to name some of the big names that was in our people during that time. Because you know Julius Caesar and Augustus Caesar, you know the Caesars. And you know like Plato and Aristotle and all that. But do you know about Judas Maccabeus and all them and his brothers? His father's name was Mattathias Maccabeus. He had 5 sons. Okay? He had 5 sons. Judas, Timothy, Simon, they had some Greek names, right? But those, the father, let's start with the father. Okay? The father was well known. And the Greeks wanted the father to eat some pork to show some solidarity between the two. You understand? What they do that today? They try to make blacks and whites come together, blacks and Asians come together. That was a famous movie, Rush Hour. Right. That movie was about blacks and Chinese people coming back together. Because it was after those riots, we was burning down them Chinese stores. Because a Chinese lady shot a black girl and killed her. I don't know if you older brothers know about the riots. There was a Chinese lady, the black girl came in, she had her own milk. The Asian lady said, you stole this milk. Go ahead, you know the story, brother.
Oh, yeah, the story was with Tasha Harlan.
There we go.
Yeah, I think it was in L.A., though. Right, and also in addition to that other one, they had, when the riots was in L.A., the Koreans actually got on their roofs, and they were packed.
Shooting. And they were shooting into the crowd.
And protecting their stores of it, and shooting into the crowd indiscriminately.
And so that time, blacks, we were rising up. We were saying that was after Rodney King. Then we had this little girl get killed. You know, we was burning the city down. And, you know, they seen that. So they came out later with that movie Rush Hour with Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker. And in that movie, it was about us coming together back with the Asians. You know, he's in there eating Asian food. He's joking with the Asians. Man, you know, Asian, you know, joking, and that's all funny games. But that was a movie to push blacks going back to these Asian stores. You understand? Because during that time, we was like, F those Koreans, F them, we need to build our own. Every time we start to build up, they come with crafty counsel to throw us off. You understand? Now, in this lifetime right now, they got Joe Biden. He's the crafty counsel right now. You understand? He's the one who's going to bring in the homosexuality. He's the one that's going to bring in the trans movement. I don't know if you remember that trans movement. There was a guy, a white guy with blonde hair, and he's like, "It's ma'am, it's ma'am." He was arguing with somebody telling them to call him ma'am. And he like 6 foot, 300 pounds. You know what I mean? That's coming back under Joe Biden. You understand? He's pushing that LGBTQ movement, and these Christian leaders is going to be joined with who? Joe Biden. Joe Biden just elected a black guy to be the general over the army, over the armed forces of America. A black general. First of his kind, you know they always. He's the first black guy in America to put salt on the chicken. He's the first black guy to do everything. They bringing that back. You know what I mean? So these Christians are going to be back joined with the Democrats and the government and trying to get grants. So they did that back then with Judas Mattathias, right? But Mattathias, he didn't go for it. You understand? He went out like an OG. He killed that heathen and went on a run with his sons. And he said, anybody who's zealous of the law, come with me. And that people and brothers and sisters went with him. You understand? They said, we're going to stick with the laws of our forefathers, of our culture. Go ahead, Word. Any more on that? Go ahead. Let's get more.
Slacker, so you said 2 Maccabees, chapter 8, verse 1.
Yep.
The book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 8, verse 1. Then Judas Maccabeus.
Judas Maccabeus is a powerful brother. You always want to remember Judas Maccabeus. He's a hero. You understand? It's a real live black hero. Go ahead. He was tough as nails too. He was like a real tough guy. You understand? Real manly guy. You understand? That's why we followed him. And his dad put him in charge of the wars and the battles. And his brother Timothy was real smart. So he was in charge of affairs and things like that. He was really the one in charge. But, you know, the second highest ranking man was that one, like General Mahayaman. You understand? General Mahayaman in charge, but General Mahayaman would put beat some ass. You understand? So that's how Judas was. Go ahead.
Khan. And they that were with him went privily into the towns.
Went privily. They snuck subtly into the towns. You understand? Because what we understood back then is the art of subtlety. You understand? The art of subtlety. I know you should be being subtle about what's going on with the coronavirus. You understand? They giving out all types of monies. They giving out this and giving out that. You should be getting all of that. You understand? We should be getting all of everything they got. You understand? Go ahead.
And if I could.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
And not keeping it to yourself. Like at the end of the day, these things that it's a lot. There it is. There you go with this right here. It's a lot. Put that joint right there.
Go ahead.
But all the things that we accumulate, you understand, they build our nation up. You know what I mean? Like you're looking at people in the world, what they do, what they get. You know what I'm saying? And obviously, this is what the Lord wants us to have. If it wasn't, the Lord wouldn't send these plagues that we pray for every damn day to come onto America, right?
Right.
And then so now you got the coronavirus, and you know I make it my business to let everybody know that I come in encounter with. This will never let up. This ain't gonna let up until everyone else, every black, Hispanic, and Native Indian is subject to the Israelite School of UPK. And I'll tell you why I say that. It may sound vain for me to say that everybody on the earth needs to be subject to the Israelite School of UPK. But to be subject unto the Israelite School of UPK is to be subject unto the Most High and His Son Christ. Our King has only one body. And the things that he did only commemorates the things that the Maccabees did.
Damn right.
You understand? And what them brothers stood for was bringing the temple back to the Most High. And when I say bringing the temple back to the Most High, I'm saying bringing the people
There
of
you
the
go.
Most High back to the Lord in their hearts. And what the Lord said, that you need to have a contrite heart, right? You know what that means, right? You need to be broken down. And so right now, what you see is the Most High doing with the coronavirus. He's breaking you down. The clubs are closed. Thanksgiving, done.
Right.
Christmas, done.
Right.
You sit here and go out there and do that, cat. It's over with.
They calling it cancel culture. Cancel Thanksgiving,
Right.
cancel Christmas.
Right.
I'm happy to see it. I heard the Christians are struggling to get their Christmas gifts. I said, hell yeah, look at you now. You talking all that shit. Excuse my language. About we ain't celebrating Christmas and this and God don't care, it's for the kids and the God don't care about if you eat pork. Now look at you.
Right.
Now look at the Christian church and look at your Christmas. Your Thanksgiving gone and your Christmas gone. That's the Lord. And if I could, well, we need to make sure we understand as we get into these winters and these winter months that the brotherhood and the sisterhood is going to be key. You understand? Because who knows what can happen. You understand? But we have the brotherhood. We have the Israelite School of UPK. And we got to make sure we stick close to that so you
Right.
don't get caught up out here. You understand?
right.
There's a lot of brothers who was watching the UPK sitting on the outskirts, sitting at, just not coming in. Next thing you know, they mama died from corona. So they love when they wife, husband died from corona. That's what's happening out here in these streets.
Right.
You understand? There's a brother in not in Indianapolis, or somebody he knew. His wife had coronavirus. He woke up in the morning next to a dead body. True story. This a month ago. A woman that worked at somebody I know worked at their job. She got coronavirus, died the next month. You understand? She was like 45. So we need to fear the Lord. You understand? And it's like when we was in Egypt, when the plagues was all over. You understand? There ain't no time to play with the Most High now. Yeah, there ain't no time to, just a little Christmas. Just my grandmama, Go over your grandmama's house if you want to.
Right.
The government telling you, and the Israelite School UPK been telling you.
Mm-hmm.
You gonna give her corona, she gonna be dead.
Right.
You understand? Grandmothers is dying too. You think grandma can't die? That's the problem. You don't fear the Lord.
Right.
You fear grandma.
Right.
You fear auntie and them. You know what I mean? Because they want you to have Christmas.
Right.
All right, let's get more in the scripture.
The book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 8, verse 1. Then Judas Maccabeus and they that were with him went privily into the towns and called their kinfolks together and took unto them all such as continued in the Jews' religion.
There you go. They came in, dropped the truth and let them know what they was doing, and brothers start following them. Same thing we doing today. We come in town, start dropping the truth on people. Nah, we keeping the law and statutes of the Lord. And in my house, we gonna serve the Lord.
Yeah, right.
And start gathering men with us. You know what I mean? Under command Jenny Yohana. Go ahead.
And assembled about 6,000 men.
They had a crew. They got a crew together. Go ahead.
And they called upon the Lord that he would look upon the people that was trodden down of all.
Look, they looked upon the people and prayed on the people. See, a lot of brothers coming to the truth, and sisters too. You stop praying. You don't pray. The Lord wasn't listening to your prayers when you was Christian. You was praying all the damn time. But now you keeping the law, statutes, commandments, and you don't pray at all. Yes, you need to be praying. Scriptures say, prayer of a righteous man and or woman, which it included, availeth much. You understand? So you should be praying for your brothers and sisters to come in this truth. Should be, especially the prayers after class. Those are very important. You understand? Those are very important. We used to pray for them terrorists to come.
Right.
And them terrorists came.
Okay.
Right.
Now we started praying about a year ago for them plagues to come.
Right.
And they came. You understand? So the prayers is very important. You know what I mean? Your personal prayers and prayers in the classes after class. But that's what they did. We doing the same thing over and over again. It's not new. This ain't new. This right here, this menorah, brother teaching, headpieces and that ain't new. You understand? This is what we've been done before in times past when we was in captivity. Gather together, serve the Lord. And the Lord deliver us. There ain't never been a man that called on the Lord that the Lord failed.
That's right.
Go ahead.
And also pity the temple profane of ungodly men.
And they prayed about how the temple was profaned by ungodly men. You had white gay guys in the temple. The Greeks was gay. The Greeks would have a boy with them, like it'd be a grown man. He always have a boy with him, and that would be, they would say that's his protege, his student, his whatever. You know, Aristotle and Plato and all them. They were each other's. You know, one Plato was the top one. Socrates was his boy, and then he taught him, but that was his lover.
Right.
He would have sex with them.
Right.
And these are the guys who was in our temple.
Right.
So they was praying. You know, we was in a bad shape. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
Come. Verse 3. And that he would have compassion upon the city.
And they pray that the Lord have compassion upon us, the city, which is the people. Jerusalem, all our brothers and sisters. Go ahead.
Sore defaced, and ready to be made even with the ground, and hear the blood that cried unto him.
Okay, so they were low to the ground, which is basically their spirit. They were real humble. They were not proud in spirit. You understand? What this world teaches is to be proud in spirit. Black women in the world, they proud. They ready to cuss out anybody. They think they the boss. They the this. They the middle manager at you know, Chicken Hut, but they ready to, you know, talk down to everybody. You understand? Because they're proud. People in the world is proud. What's the gay pride? They proud. I was just in Walmart. It was a brother in there with like a tank top and leggings, and he had some yellow dye. But you think he was in there like, you know, hope nobody see me. But he had a little jacket. I said, look at this damn fool. You understand? So they proud. And the Lord always abates the proud. If you're going to be proud of something, be proud of the Most High. Be proud that you're an Israelite.
That's right.
Be proud that you are children of the holy people. Those things, like the scripture said, those things, all those things that are good, dwell on those things. But don't be pride that you this or you that, you smart, you great, you think you the great. You ain't doing nothing. You understand? All these people who in this world who think they're doing something great, you ain't feeding the country or nothing. Nigga, you just got a rap album or something. You know what I mean? So let's go ahead.
Verse 4. And remember the wicked slaughter of harmless infants.
Because the story went, when they first outlawed the circumcision, there was 2 sisters that circumcised their babies. And the Greeks took them and walked them throughout the city with the baby still on their breast. Walked them throughout the city like handcuffs. You know how the cops, when they handcuff you, they sit you on the side of the road so everybody can look at you for 6 hours until they lock you up? They did that. You understand? And they took them to the top of the wall and they threw them and the children off the walls. Them's the infants that the scripture is referring to. Alright? Them sisters died for the truth. Go ahead.
And the blasphemies committed against his name.
And the blasphemies committed against the Most High's name. Okay? They prayed on these things. Go ahead.
And that he would shew his hatred against the wicked.
Show his what?
His hatred against the wicked.
Hold up. That God don't hate.
His hatred against the wicked.
God is all love.
His hatred against the wicked.
The Most High hate the wicked.
Right.
He hates the sinner. Shalom, y'all. You want to take it, Cap?
No, you go ahead.
Okay, come. So the Most High hates the wicked. Go ahead.
Verse 5. Now when Maccabeus had his company about him, he could not be withstood by the heathen.
He could not be withstood, but the heathen couldn't deal with Judas Maccabeus and his brothers. They couldn't deal with them the same way the heathens can't deal with us. You understand? When they see a black man who has his balls and has his masculinity, what are they trying to do? They trying to get him arrested. They trying to do something small against him to make him blow up, and then they call the cops. It's the Karens. They trying to do something against, but they can't do nothing with us. You understand? The devil back racist to us. Do we start crying? Why are you racist? You's a racist. You know, we know you racist. We've been knowing that. It's a surprise when they act regular, like a regular damn human being. You understand? So we know they can't deal with us. Same way they couldn't deal with Judas in them. Go ahead.
For the wrath of the Lord was turned into mercy.
Because, and this is what was so powerful about when the sisters, when they threw the sisters off the roof. The people didn't look at it and say, oh, that's so sad, they threw the sisters off the roof. They looked at it and said, that was because we sinned. And that was a punishment of the Lord.
Yeah, I'm just taking just Joe Mahayaman get here. Everybody clap it up. You can give yourself a hand and make it out to Vegas. You know what I mean? Give yourself a hand again. Well, you was going over the Maccabees?
Yes, we're in 2 Maccabees chapter 8 with Judas right now
No sweat.
in his company.
Of course, everybody know, we coming out to Vegas, the sin city to make this city righteous. Y'all understand that, right?
Yeah, right.
Can you give me Be Ye Therefore Perfect real quick?
It's like, sir, is it okay if I move it a little
Yeah,
bit?
go ahead.
If I could, this weekend it's the holy city.
Gone. Damn right. Get out of hand, shit. Righteous city, blotting out all transgressions. You know what I mean?
I got it when you're ready.
Go ahead.
Matthew chapter 5, verse 48. Be ye therefore perfect.
Say it again.
Be ye therefore perfect.
Y'all understand that, right?
Right.
You know what I mean? Somebody tell me, what does it mean to be perfect? Anybody know what it means to be perfect? Remember, in the world, they say you can't be perfect, right?
God.
It's impossible to be perfect, right?
God.
What does it mean to be perfect? Somebody tell me. Who's right there? It's like my brother, 18 hours. Like, y'all dying. Go ahead, y'all dying.
To follow the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High.
Yeah, man. And give me a little more. What else? It's that. I want a little more. What's it mean to be perfect? Keeping the laws, it do make you perfect. Is that it though? DeBar.
Perfect brotherhood.
Brotherhood's another thing too, man. Listen, man, I'll tell you one thing. Keeping the laws in itself is not gonna get you the kingdom of heaven. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Go ahead, DeBar, you wanna say
I
something?
mean, of course, doing it until the last one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The scriptures say he endures until the end. The saints shall be saved. But you know what I'm saying? Like making sure that this is something you pass down. You know what I'm saying? Like not only being perfect with the law,
Right.
because the law. Meaning if a brother don't keep the law, I mean, how could you even know the law if the law? Okay, basically, what I'm
Go
saying in a
ahead.
nutshell.
Mm-hmm.
If you ain't in UPK, you're done.
There you go.
How can I? I mean,
Well, let me say this: keeping the law is the bare minimum thing you can do.
That's right.
Understand?
Right.
It's the bare minimum. You know what I'm saying? You want to just come in here and be in UPK and be a soldier and never be in these ranks and do the real work, man. You're doing the bare minimum. You understand?
Right.
And here we're trained to make our election sure. And making your election sure is getting up here and putting in that work, putting your faith where it's like where your work should be, and showing your faith through your works.
That's right.
Well, yeah, your hand up back there.
Sir.
Go ahead.
Officer Tashiyan out of Delaware.
Uh-huh.
Laboring in the Lord, sir. I was piggybacking off of what you were saying.
Oh, yeah.
It's all about that labor in the work. It's not just the law. It's that actual labor.
Damn right. Y'all understand that?
Right.
You give me Hebrews 11:1.
Come on.
Any more seats out there? Good with all the seats. Just have all the young men stand up and everybody that's an officer come sit down. All right. Have all them young men stand up in the back. All right.
Number one con.
Go ahead.
Hebrews chapter 11, verse 1. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen.
Y'all understand that, right?
Come on,
Faith is the
come.
things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. We don't see the Lord.
Right.
You understand that? We don't see the Lord, but we know the Lord is real. We know the work must be done. Go ahead, DeBar.
I mean, can we also use this as like, okay, back when, of course, before we even came, we've been in the school for a short time, but you know, men been prophesying that Russia and America was going to be enemies. Nobody saw it,
Right.
but men stayed faithful on those things.
Damn right.
You know what I'm saying? And because they stayed on the things they didn't see, they just taught what they was told to talk.
Damn right.
And we see them today.
Drop that.
Clap it up. All right. Get it on. All right, I'll take your questions first, right? If someone has questions online, I'll take those as well. Any questions on the room? Tonight's topic, whores. We'll go into that tonight, all right? Because why? Because we're in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Right.
So tonight we'll go into whores, all right? That's the topic, but of course I'll answer any questions that you might have, all right? Questions in the room, anyone? No sweat, no problem. All right. Bear with me.
I got a question, sir.
Please, sir.
In Bell and the Dragon, 1:27, it says, what I want to know is, what is it exactly that pitch and the fat and the hair? When Daniel put that, he made it into a lump.
Let's read it, please.
Kind of. Bell and the Dragon, chapter 1, verse 27. Then Daniel took pitch and fat.
Do you know what those things are?
Go ahead. And hair,
Mm-hmm.
and did seethe them, seethe them together, and made lumps thereof.
He made, imagine, he made like a thing of a ball, right? So he took pitch. Pitch is like tar, right? And what's the other one you said?
Hair and
Hair.
fat.
So imagine hair and fat. Fat is the guts of anything, the blood of anything, right? The insides of anything, right? So he takes an animal, and the fat of that animal is the guts, tar, and hair. And he seethes it. Seething something is boiling something. So he takes it and he boils it, and at the end of all of that boiling, he gets a clump. You get that's the point. He gets a clump at the end of that after he boils it all the way down.
Is that the same as like a resin? Kind of like meaning like how we use the
Not
resin?
by definition. Resin is by definition something that leaks from a tree. That's what resin is, right? You cut a tree and the sap that will start to come out of a tree, which is where frankincense comes from. Frankincense is resin, right? So by definition is that. Resin is that. Okay, so this is more like cooking something until it all combines. Until all of the ingredients just combine into one lump. That's the point. All right?
So of course Daniel he took this lump and put it in the mouth of that dragon. But that lump that he took was something that could burn for a long time, and like what was the purpose of it?
You gotta read that part to me. I can't recall that.
Kind of.
Throw out for the scratch jockey. Go ahead.
Verse 27. Then Daniel took pitch and fat and hair and did seethe them together and made lumps thereof. This he put in the dragon's mouth. And so the dragon burst in sunder. And Daniel said, Lo, these are the gods ye worship.
That's and this is when you say the dragon, this is that statue.
Kind of God, sir.
I got you. That's a
It
mess.
already took Bel out.
Exactly.
Kind of
Okay,
God.
the perfect precept for this is the precepts that prove that the Israelites knew about science far before people on this side of the world ever understood science. Remember, there's another precept where the brother, the angel told him to get a fish, catch this gigantic fish, the fish that was going to eat him.
Kind of God.
Except he caught it, he cut the gallbladder out, I think a few other organs out. He burned those organs, and the smell chased a demon out of this woman he wanted to marry. Now, what would they call that today? This woman had a demon. She killed 7 men. 7 men jumped in her bed. She killed every man that tried to have sex with her lawfully. She murdered them in their sleep, choked them. And the girls sung songs about her and mocked her until she wanted to kill herself. Her brother went and got the gallbladder of this particular fish, I think the liver of this particular fish, burned it, and when she smelled it, the demon fled out of her. Now, what would you call that today?
Aromatherapy?
No, not aromatherapy.
Exorcism.
No, not an exorcism. There was no praying or, there was nothing spiritual about it, but it was extremely spiritual.
Anesthesia?
Medicine. That's medicine, right? From this kind of fish, this part of this fish, burn it, it went in, she inhaled it, right? But it was that fish, whatever that fish was and whatever properties it had, that angel knew it and told him to do it. Now, this, of course, this is the same similar story, right? He went and made this ingredients and created something to make that idol explode.
Right.
You get the point. Go ahead.
So basically, back to the fish, that was more like something that'll settle her down. Maybe I don't know. Maybe
It was a demon. The demon left. Demon flee to the farthest part of Egypt. That's medication. Some of y'all need that, man. Some of y'all nutty out of your goddamn minds, full of demons, and you don't want to take medication because the demon will leave. And you don't want to take that medication because you damn well know that if you take that medication, you'll put on clothes and not run down the street naked, and you won't fight every night in the bar, and you want to do that. You want to hurt people. And you don't want to take anything, ingest anything that might stop you from hurting people. This woman killed 7 men. But this brother had the medication. He had it. Well, the same thing in this story. He had something for this idol, something to make it explode. You get the point. Gunpowder is a similar concoction. Gunpowder is saltpeter. Someone look it up. Saltpeter, coal, and blah, 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 blah. That's gunpowder. It's like 4 or 5 ingredients. That's how you make gunpowder. And of course, we had real science in Israel. You of course know about the scripture when they filtered the water. When Jacob had those sheep, and he gave those sheep filtered water, and it wasn't magic. It was him running the water through wood. And what the sheep drank the water that ran through wood, which is what charcoal filtering is today, because charcoal is wood. Everybody understands?
Got the gunpowder mixture.
Please.
Gunpowder, as it came to be known, is a mixture of salt, pepper, potassium nitrate, sulfur, and charcoal together.
Saltpeter. Saltpeter is another mineral. So read that one more time.
Mixture of saltpeter, potassium nitrate, sulfur, and charcoal. Together, these materials will burn rapidly and explode as a propellant.
There you go, warrior. You understand? So imagine what we knew back then. Imagine what we would know now if we didn't give it up for Christmas and Thanksgiving and crack and heroin and weed.
Right.
You understand, right? Anything else? Any other questions in the room? I'll take them now. 1 second. Forgot my whip in the car. Car, can you grab that whip for me, please? If he's back there. Bear with me. Let's get in the whores then. All right. I'm sorry, bro. Go ahead, brother.
It's like, so you had a question online?
Okay, I'll take it.
Kind. The brother David Haywood asked, is praying for your family every day a vain repetition?
Praying for your family every day is not a vain repetition. It's unnecessary. Because the Lord is not, he's not an idol. Right? So he heard you the first time. You get the point? He's alive. So really you're doing it for your own pathology, your own quirks. You get my point? Your own compulsions. Like a lot of people, they have compulsions, good luck charms, You see somebody that has to do this 10 times, or they can't leave out the house. They check the stove 25 times exactly. Come on.
OCD?
OCD. Give him a hand. Correct. So, of course, if you're OCD in your mind, if you don't pray for them every day, they're going to die the day that you did not pray for them. You get my point? That's superstition, Knock. That's all that is. That's superstition. That's being afraid of something that you do not understand. You can't comprehend it, so you're scared to death of it. Here's the good news about our God. He is a living God.
That's right.
Which means he heard you yesterday.
That's right.
He gets it, right? The Lord said he maketh intercession for our prayers because we know not what to pray for. That's in the Bible, Lakim.
Yeah, right.
You get my point? Thank you. All right. The Lord knows you love their family. This is what you should do. You should stop smoking weed.
That's right.
You should stop being worthy to die. That's the key. Pleading for death is one thing. You could plead for death and please don't kill me, please don't kill me, please don't kill me. Every day I get you, it makes you feel better. But what you might want to do is stop getting high. Stop being worthy to die.
That's right.
That's far more effective than some superstition that you complete every day, hoping that you'll live. And guess what? He's going to kill them anyway if they're worthy to die. You can ask him every day, 10 times a day. If they're unrepentant sinners, they're dying anyway. Everybody understands.
Come on.
All right. I appreciate it, boy. Captain Akata hand. Who's me? All right. All right. Anything else? Go ahead. I need to move this candle. I'd like to leave it there, but I'm surely going to knock it over in about 2 seconds, all right? It looks excellent. Or you can move it down here, just somewhere where I don't knock it over, all right? Candlestick, please.
Slacky, sir. Sister Kaya Yahawada asked.
Not down there. You're going to put the fire down there, brother. You put it up here or somewhere else, all right? Right here, somewhere else. Right here. It's out of my way enough right there. Too well. Good.
Slacky, sir. The sister Kaya, her question was, what is the people that are considered Thai or from Thailand? Or
Who are the people? Okay, you can look them up. I can't recall. I always ask General Hana this about the people from Thailand. They're either Chinese or Japanese, right? And they're either, is that who they are? I can't recall the breakdown. It's fine. They're Ammonites. Ammon means Japan. The Chinese and the Japanese spread out all throughout Asia, and they occupied different lands. The conflict in North Korea, and between North Korea and South Korea, started with the Japanese and the Chinese fighting over that island. And the Japanese, I want to say they were the South Koreans, and the Chinese were the North Koreans, and they fought. There's a certain place in Korea where the Japanese and the Chinese came together and stopped killing each other. At this point, I forget the name of the point, but you can look it up, and that's the entire South Korea and North Korea conflict, because they're two separate races of people. The Chinese and the Japanese, they look alike to outsiders, but they are not brother and sister. They're two separate races, right? Much like so-called Africans and Israelites, or so-called Spaniards and Hispanics, you think they look alike from the outside, but they do not look alike, and they are not the same people.
That's right.
All right? So you can look up what the history will tell you what they are. The people from Thailand, I think they worship boats in Thailand because they know where they came from on some boats. Either they came from Japan or China. The captain said Japan. All right. Next, go ahead.
Slacky, sir, this is my question. That's okay. What was this? What was the reason? I believe the Pharisees wanted to kill Christ or stone him in particular, after he said, before Abraham was, I am.
Okay, read me that particular part you're talking about.
Sir. It's John 8 and 58. John 8 and 58. Yahushua said unto them, verily, verily, I say unto you, before Abraham was, I am. Then took they up stones to cast at him. But Yahushua hid himself and went out of the temple, going through the midst of them, and so passed by.
All right, go ahead.
Is this about Melchizedek?
No, that's not why. That's not the answer to his question. He asked, why did they want to kill him for that statement?
Okay.
Anyone want to give it another shot? Think about what he said.
Is it because he wasn't dead? Meaning they see Christ here, he's saying that. Is it because he wasn't
Okay,
dead?
remember, stoning him is a specific penalty to a crime. Stoning him is like giving him lethal injection or giving him 10 years in jail. It's the prescribed punishment for certain crimes in the Bible. Sometimes you get stoned, sometimes you get your head chopped off, sometimes you don't have to pay back what you stole. This is a specific penalty for a crime. What crime did they think he was committing? Please.
Did they feel he was blaspheming?
They thought he was, I'll take blasphemy and give him a hand. Right? In specific, they thought he was trying to say that he was God. Why do you know that that's what they thought he was trying to say? Because before Abraham was, I am. I am. Precept.
So would that be Exodus 3?
Give him a hand. Exodus 3. Go ahead and read it.
Exodus chapter 3, verse 14. And God said unto Moses, I am that I am.
So, because of that, right? And if you're ignorant and don't understand the Bible, you could believe that I am is God's name, is who God is. And you could believe that then he is using the Lord's name in vain and blasphemous because he's trying to say that he is God. But of course, I am is not the Lord's name. And in so many cases, these men wanted to kill an innocent man. They wanted to put someone to death who did not deserve to be put to death. But many people who deserve to be put to death, they allowed to live. Christ brought that up, precept. Thou hast let the guilty go unpunished. I'm going to look up that in the New Testament, all right? I think it's in the book of Matthew. If you got questions in here, let's get them together. Don't call me all goddamn night. Here I am. I am right here. Hell. Ask it now. I am in Vegas. I want to go have a little fun too. I can't go out in Vegas?
Don't come.
God damn. Now's the time, y'all. Get it done now. I ain't that old now. I am in Vegas. All right, let's go. Go ahead.
Is there any significance on Joe Biden trying to get that black guy to be over the military that you see?
Okay, I mean, it's the same old significance. He's trying to make blacks and Hispanics happy because he owes his election to them, and that's as old as Abraham Lincoln back in the 1800s. You know, the precept. What precept would you use for Joe Biden picking someone that's from the tribe of Judah to be over the military? Come on.
Could it be the gift that destroys the heart?
That's not the perfect one. All right, I probably would take that second. The first precept you need is he shall seek to please the poor. That's what you need first, right? And you can use this precept for any time that some oppressor does something that is perceived to be good. You know, something the stimulus checks. At one time people lauded politicians because they gave black people and Hispanics public school. And we did not have public school. Right? We were going to little shacks for some sister that just was willing to teach if somebody gave her a little money or a way to eat every damn week. And then finally they gave us public schools and we thought we were champions. We thought we had a political revolution because we received public schools. Right? So you can always use they shall seek to please the poor. Who has it? It's in the Old Testament. Go ahead.
You want to read, sir? Mm-hmm. This is the book of Job, chapter 20, verse 10. His children shall seek to please the poor, and his hands shall restore their goods.
Hear that? His children, speaking about our oppressor, you can read up and see that. His children shall seek to please the poor, and his hands shall restore our goods. We're going to think that he is wonderful. Look at him. He stole from us, but he's given us some of it back. He's given us back the things that he stole from us. This is great. He is wonderful. Vote for Joe Biden. And that's been going on since Abraham Lincoln. The exact same thing. It was one time when black people were all Republican. Back in the 1800s, everyone was a Republican in the South until the end of begins with an R. Reconstruction. And then, of course, they began to kill every black politician, and then black people became Democrats. You know, running from the Republicans, and that's that. So that's been good. You can use that precept for any of that. That's the significance of it. You get the point, right? I believe we good here, Malakwath? You good with that precept? Any other questions? Go ahead.
Is it possible to get if I could, a quick breakdown on the Leviathan and what the Leviathan is in the scriptures?
No problem. Go ahead and pull it up, please. There's two different Leviathans in the Bible, all right? When you pull the one that you pull, I'll show you which one that is, and I'll show you the other one, all right? Whenever you're ready to.
Job, I got Job. Job.
Is this the one you wanted up? Come ask the question. Go ahead.
Job 41:1. Canst thou draw out Leviathan with an hook, or his tongue with a cord which thou lettest down?
Okay, you want to look up. Okay, give me the description of Leviathan. Right, for time's sake, I'll give it to you. You can read it down, right? Leviathan is like a crocodile, right? A giant lizard. So the Bible doesn't specifically say what it correlates to with the animals we know of today, but the description fits a big lizard, a giant crocodile, much like a dragon, right? A dragon would be Leviathan, a big giant reptile, a big giant lizard. So that's what a Leviathan is. So imagine a crocodile in your head. And so what Job's friends are telling him is, you aren't so strong. You think you know everything? Can you go and grab a crocodile out of the water, and can you fish him in? Can you reel him in on a hook? You can't do that. You don't know everything. That's the point, right? Because of course he can't fish a crocodile in because it's too goddamn big and strong. It'll pull him in the damn water. That's the point, right? Now give me the other Leviathan. Where is that at? There's also a person who is likened unto a dragon, likened unto a reptile, something that is absolutely dangerous, something that's a monster. All right, where are we at? I believe so. You have it. Go ahead. You got it. Go ahead.
In that day, the Lord with his sword and great and strong sword shall punish Leviathan.
Shall punish who?
Punish Leviathan.
Keep going.
The piercing serpent.
The piercing serpent, right? An actual Leviathan is an animal, like a crocodile or, some big, anaconda or something like that, right? It's in the water. But then there's a man who's a monster. Right. There's a man who is absolutely as dangerous as any monster in the wilderness, and that man is our oppressor. That's right. And the Lord likens him unto Leviathan, a snake, a serpent, that old red dragon, the devil. Everybody understands. You good here, up? Sorry. Anything else? Any questions? In the back?
On second Esdras 2 and 6. I'm sorry, second Esdras 6 and 49.
Yes.
It says, then did that ordain 2 living creatures, the one that's called Enoch and the other Leviathan.
I'll break it down for you. Look, that is the Leviathan we just talked about. That's an actual animal, right? And the Enoch is like, imagine a primate, a gorilla, an orangutan. Once again, the Bible does not describe the exact animal that correlates with the animal we know today, but it describes a big, hairy, man-faced kind of animal, which was what a primate would be. Think of a gorilla or an orangutan, all right, or one of those big chimpanzees that like to eating my faces off. That's Enoch. Right. That's you get the point. All right. Good to go here. Anything else? See me one more time with the chaser, please, up. All right. Come on.
How do you spot a whore?
That's a good question. Give him a hand. You better know. you better know the answer to that. What's the precept? How do you spot a whore? Precept.
By her eyelids.
Give him a hand. By her eyelids. All right. And give me a tire. We'll go to that, then I'll get the breakdown, all right? I appreciate the word. Give me the eyelids, right? First, where's Captain Akkad at? Captain Akkad, give me that stat. First of all, who made that blue situation you're dealing with over there? That you wear? Huh? Officer Marab made Dimitri. Who made the hoodie? It's ice cold. What does it say? What does it say, Akkad? We give him a hand.
I got Proverbs 6 and 25.
I'm sorry. Hang on to that, please. I need that. But this is just a statistic, right? That I just looked up for the occasion, being down here in Las Vegas, and I'll show you what I found. Go ahead and read that up. Well, let me tell you what I just Googled, right? I Googled prostitution statistics in Las Vegas, Nevada. That's it. Everybody understands, right? Go ahead and read nice and loud.
Las Vegas prostitution statistics. Of all the prostitution business in Nevada, only about 10% is legal.
Unlike many other states, right? There is some legal prostitution in Nevada, right? But only about 10% of the prostitution in Nevada is legal, right? That's rare. In most states, prostitution is not legal yet, although there are many groups that are trying to make prostitution legal, right? But right now, 10% of prostitution in Nevada is legal. Keep going.
And 90% of illegal prostitution occurs in Las Vegas.
90% of illegal prostitution occurs in Las Vegas, Nevada. Keep going.
Legal prostitution in Nevada grosses about $75 million
per year. Wow.
$75 million per year is what is being earned in this city, right? In this city, $75 million a year, and that's legal prostitution. That's some nut out there in the damn desert who has the Bunny Ranch. They did an HBO special on that. Who had it right? Hugh Hefner. He has trailer parks out there. You can go in there and be disgusting in there, right? That's $75 million a year. Go ahead.
While illegal prostitution in Las Vegas.
In where?
In the Las Vegas.
In Nevada?
In the Las Vegas.
In this city. In one city. This city you're in right now. Not the state. In this city. Please continue.
Area grosses about $5 billion per year.
$5 billion. $5 billion. Which means this city in a little roundabout little neighborhoods and around Las Vegas. $5 billion. Y'all got a problem with whores down here. I think that's evident. I mean, I'm no mathematician, but damn. Please, go. Maybe I shouldn't go out. I think you was right. I think you was right. I'm staying in tonight. Kiko, not you. Go ahead. The boss said, no, not you. I'm going out. Go ahead.
But this is $5 billion. That's like a GDP of a small country.
Listen, I looked that up as well. That the NFL makes $8 billion. The NFL makes $8 billion a year. It's half of what the National League, the baseball, I forget the name of it. Ford Motor Cars makes $8 billion a year. Ford. You understand what that means? Can you even grasp it? Can you wrap your brain around that? That Ford Motor Cars makes $8 billion a year. Ford in this city. Ford in the world. You get my point. Not Ford in one city.
Right.
The Ford Motor Group makes $8 billion a year. Prostitution in this city makes $5 billion a year. Right? And we're going to read and go into the Bible and find out where that comes from. Why? Because this will happen everywhere.
That's right.
And the only way that you can stop it is to understand it. And after you understand it, if you're in the UPK, you go to war with it.
That's right.
Everybody understands.
Count on one card.
All right, stay with me. Okay. We're going to go over here first, all right? Where is that at? Oh, that's a good one. Give me the land fall to whoredom. Give me that first. Go ahead. I'm sorry, were you holding something up? I'm sorry, before I move on, I don't want to forget. Let me get how do you recognize a whore or find a whore? You have that right, Captain. Go ahead, please.
Proverbs chapter 7 verse 10. And behold, there met him a woman with the attire of a harlot.
That's what you need first. How do you recognize a whore? She's dressed like one. The same way you know a fireman or a policeman or a medic or a doctor.
Right.
Somebody walks into you in the hospital, somebody walking there with a stethoscope around their neck and a white coat, that's probably the doctor.
Right.
Right? If you see somebody walking ass naked down the strip, that's a whore. Right? I mean, again, I'm not a well-educated brother, but that seems about right. Right? Whores look like whores, whores dress like whores. Right? Why do whores dress like whores? If you can answer this question right, you can have a breakthrough. Why do whores dress like whores? Please, officer.
Because brothers love whores.
Because you love whores. Give yourself a and that's getting into how you fight it. That's getting into how you fight it. Because no woman would ever debase herself like that unless you wanted her to.
That's right.
And that's why she does it. Because that is sometimes, if not most times, that's the only way she can even get you to recognize her or to look at her at all. You don't even notice her at all unless she looks like a whore. Her attire, that's how you know. Give me the eyelid one.
Proverbs.
Now, once again, I'm using it, if I could, I'm using it for Las Vegas and walking down the street. But of course, most of your whoring goes on online. That's the same thing. She'll, of course, have a picture where she shows her breasts, where she tries to show you nude photos and naked photos of herself, right? And she'll ask you to show her some naked photos so that after it's done, she can just send them both to me and tell me what an evil bastard you are. That's all they do. All they do is, do you see what your brothers are doing? That's the favorite. Do you see what your men are doing? Do you see what they up to? I hear you. I hear you. So, I mean, that's all. If you want me to see your rod, then go ahead and send them to the sister then. If that's what you, if you want me to go hold her, this brother ain't one west. I think this is a purple rod right here. This is IUIC rod here. That ain't one of ours, sis. Otherwise, why don't you keep your pants, shut? All right? Why don't you keep your zipper up and relax? Keep going.
Proverbs 6:25. Lust not after her beauty in thine heart.
Did I get the eyelid part yet?
This is it right here. Neither.
I need that part. That part is red. Go ahead.
Neither let.
Lust not.
Lust not after her beauty in thine heart.
Lust not after her beauty in your heart. What's your heart? Your mind, man. Your mind. Don't allow this to corrupt your mind. What does it mean to lust? What does that mean? We should look that word up, because that's getting to the crux of this whole problem. Go ahead, Art.
Does it mean to go after the ones in your flesh?
Give me the definition. You're on it, of course, but let me get the definition right here.
Lust, a very strong sexual desire.
That's what you need right there. Now, it doesn't have to be sex, of course. You can lust after many things, money and all kinds of things. But this is a strong desire. A desire that you don't want to fight, because fighting it is uncomfortable. Fighting it hurts. And your mind is, of course, set on pleasure, right? Because you're a brute beast made to be destroyed. Give me that precept. All right? So don't lust after her in your heart. Keep going.
Neither let her take thee with her eyelids.
Neither let her take thee with her eyelids. Now, what's the metaphor for this? A woman who's flashing all them fake eyelashes at you. Doing this. That's old. She gonna get the joints like this here. So she can get you across the room like, hey, what's up? Come get some of this. Don't let that work on you. Okay, you gotta be strong, bro. All right. I did a class. I'm sorry, you got more.
There's more to
Please.
For by means of a whorish woman, a man is brought to a piece of bread.
That's what we need. For by means of a whorish woman, a man is brought to a piece of bread. Meaning, because of your desire for this whore, you are bread. Every black and Hispanic knows what I'm talking about. You are just money. That's all you are. You're in love and you have to have her, and she's so wonderful and she's so beautiful, but you are, rent and the bills and some cash to get her car fixed. And that's all you are. And you're nothing else but that. I did a class yesterday about pork and how the Greeks would force us to eat pork, knowing that if we ate pork enough, we would develop a taste for eating pork. We would develop an addiction for pork, for eating it and enjoying it. And once we had that addiction, we would serve them forever as a corrupt people who would never be saved by our God. Well, when it comes to prostitution, women, you are the pork. You're the pork. You're the thing that if that brother partakes in you, he destroys his life. You're the pig. That's what you are. That's what every whore is, a pig. Something that if the man cannot resist it, if he can't resist this pig, then he's destroyed. And no woman would be a pig unless you loved eating pigs. You understand? Because you love eating pigs, she has to become a pig. She has to become a pig. Everybody gets it right. Go ahead. You need more. Any more? Go ahead.
And the adulteress will hunt for the precious life.
Everybody understands that. What's an adulteress? A woman who has a man and yet she has sex with other men. Why? Because men mean nothing to her anyway. They mean absolutely nothing. Right? You don't matter at all. You're not the most handsome brother in the world, like I'm sure you think you are. When she answers your inbox call, I know you think, boy, I got it. I must still have it. You think you're so special. When she's answering 100 of these inbox messages, 100 of them. But here you go perking up and getting all rosy-cheeked because she said hi to you. She says hi to everybody.
Right.
But you're so stupid and egotistical and like a dumb child that you're impressed by her responding to you. When she's a whore, she's a pig, and she's trying to tempt you into devouring her so you can die. Read that last part again.
And the adulteress will hunt for the precious life.
That's it. And that's what women are doing who dress like whores and walk up and down the strip and go on Facebook. They're hunting for the precious life. They want to turn you, they want you to die. They want to corrupt you, they want to hurt you. What sister can tell me why they want to hurt you? You sisters, you think about this for a while. I just told you what they want to do to them, right? Why? You want me to tell you? Do you know?
I was gonna say because they hate men.
That's true. I said that earlier though, but why? Why do they want to hunt for the precious soul? Come on.
Because they've been hurt by a man.
Give him a hand. You know, it all comes down to, in most things, they want revenge.
All right.
That's what they want. They want revenge. And they can't get it from Uncle Jesse or their father. There was some man who hurt them when they were a precious soul. They were a precious soul at one time. They were innocent. They were unharmed. They were kind and new and gentle and wonderful. And then someone hunted for their precious soul. And then time went on and the wound got more infected. And then they want revenge for their pain. And then they go and seek out a precious soul to hurt. Everybody understands.
Come on.
Come on.
So like, sir, is that like the saying they say, hurt people, hurt people?
Give it a hand. That's a fact. When you read the Bible, what it actually is that little child who was molested, that girl, the minute she accepted what happened to her, she took on a demon. The minute she accepts it, the minute she says, okay, my father molested me, my uncle molested me, my friends or whoever I trusted hurt me and used me for sex. The minute she accepts it in her mind as just the way things are, a reality of where she is and who she is, when that happens, she is going to make you accept it and her accept it. She's going to multiply it. The minute she says, okay, this thing that happened to me is the way things are. That's what happens. That's how it's supposed to be. This is what I'm supposed to be doing to people. I accept this. Well, then after a while, brother, that hurts. And that festers in her soul. And then she wants some revenge. But he's gone. She doesn't know him anymore. Or she's afraid of him because he taught her to be afraid of him. But she's not afraid of you. Right. So you're going to pay. Everybody understands. I mean, this teaches itself. So, I think you lived this. Come on.
I had the brute beast scripture.
Please, give me that.
2 Peter chapter 2, verse 12. But these, as natural brute beasts, made to be taken and destroyed, speak evil of the things that they understand not.
That's talking about the priests who seek to save brothers and sisters' lives. And then people speak against these priests who are trying to protect molested girls, who are trying to give them the one thing that they absolutely need, but they find it so hard to achieve. Trying to give them a second chance, man. Trying to help them start over. And then someone tries to stop these men from giving these sisters a chance to start over. Those are just animals. They just want whores. And that's why people hate the UPK. They hate the UPK because they love whores. They love it. They love weed.
Right.
We'd have, I mean, if not for our stance against being a drug addict, my God, we'd be loved.
Right.
We'd be so loved. If not for our stance against child molestation and being a slut,
That's right.
we'd be so loved. If not for our defense of blacks and Hispanics against the oppressor who abuses them every day, we'd be loved. Those are brute beasts made to be destroyed.
Right.
The same way a cow just grows bigger to be killed, that's what you are. You're just something created to die. Everybody gets it.
Cut on.
Okay, I got some precepts to give you, right? Okay. Where are we gonna go now? Let's go here. Give me Leviticus 19 and 29. Let's start there. First out, this is what I'll do for you. I'll help you out, right? I'm going to explain to you how damaging prostitution is, and adultery, and being a sexual deviant is, what it does. And that's why, give me the landfall of whoredoms. Give me that first.
That's it right there.
This is where I'm about to read right now.
Got it.
All right, go ahead.
Leviticus 19:29. All Nakwatim have it. Do not prostitute thy daughter to cause her to be a whore.
Do not prostitute thy daughter to cause her to be a whore. This goes once again to the same old reason for everything. You think of everything that's wrong with blacks and Hispanics, right? And many people have tried to hypothesize and study and research the cause of our problems, right? There are whole study groups and, people have grants from the government trying to discuss what they call black pathology, Hispanic pathology, meaning our sickness. They see that please.
I was gonna say the CDC does studies on black people, and they do diseases. So they do a lot of studies like on black fathers, and to
That's exactly what I'm
similar
saying.
to like disease study to them.
Yeah, they look at us like obviously you have a sickness,
Right.
because while other ethnic groups had their time being poor, had their time suffering, and they were able to climb up out of it. But you as blacks and Hispanics, you just are perpetually downtrodden. What is the reason for it? And the government studies it. Look up a study they did with survival sex. I think that happened in the 90s. They were trying to understand why so many black women were getting AIDS. Because in the 90s, brother, everybody had AIDS. There was so much AIDS among black women that the CDC was trying to understand it. And they did the research, and if someone finds it, I'll read it for you, all right? Until then, let me go finish up with this precept. Read it from the top.
Do not prostitute thy daughter to cause her to be a whore.
Don't prostitute your daughter. The root of everything goes back to poor leadership. If you wonder why the black and Hispanic community is the way they are, you don't have to have a whole study group and get a grant.
Right.
We have preachers, and that's why we're in the condition we're in.
Right.
Preachers, reverends, because the people at the top turn girls into whores.
That's right.
That's what they do.
Right.
The people who are in charge, the father of the house, the one who's supposed to protect her from someone that might turn her into a whore, he turns her into a whore. Come on.
It's the same as in Susanna, in the book of Susanna, when the men, the elders.
Oh, forget about it. Give him a hand. That's correct. That's a perfect. And that's how you fight whoredom. We should read that too. That's an excellent one. Susanna. Susanna is such an example. In the Hebrew, it's Shawashana. And that sister is an example for every woman on how you should take your virtue, on how you should hold yourself honorable. Susanna held herself honorable.
That's right.
Give her a hand.
Got the survival sex paragraph.
Go ahead.
Survival sex is a form of prostitution engaged in by a person because of their extreme need. It describes the practice of people who are homeless or otherwise disadvantaged in society, trading sex for food, place to sleep, or other basic needs.
Las Vegas also has an extremely high homeless population. You see them sleeping on the street everywhere, right? Well, this is what survival sex is according to the CDC when they were trying to research why so many black women have AIDS. Because they're poor. And because they're poor, they have to have sex in a barter system. You understand?
Right.
Because they can't afford, if they have a car and this car gets them to work, they can't lose the car because they'll lose their job, then they lose their apartment. So they have to have sex with the mechanic.
Right.
You understand? They got to have sex with, and they found this study out where women had 5 or 6 different men all bartering sex for all of them.
Right.
This cat fixes the car. This cat buys the groceries. This cat watches the kids. A lot of you, that's who you are.
Right.
That's you are. I'm telling you. We are in the truth, right? I'm trying to tell you the truth. Like you, he fixed the car. Right? He buys the groceries. She need a babysitter. And she just finds some cat to have sex with to babysit those kids. And that's what you're doing. And of course, you so stupid, you're happy because you think you the ready-made daddy. You think you walk into the house like, I'm a better father than their father. Right. I'm able to sit here all day and play video games and watch TV and watch the kids. Oh, you're so dumb. I tell you, boy. I'm something else. Well, listen, she's a whore. All right. And so she has a lot of men that she's doing this with. And of course, you're none the wiser. All right. Reading on.
Wanted some more study or?
No, I think you got the study. That's what I just broke down the study. That's it. Go ahead, Kevin.
Officer Napatazar, when you asked the question, said that, of course, women do whorish behavior because men accept it. Could this be a precept that we could use?
Well, accepted is not a strong enough term.
We want it.
We want it.
Right.
We prefer it. Go ahead.
Is this a scripture that you Proverbs chapter 29 and verse 3?
Let's hear it.
Whoso loveth wisdom rejoiceth his father, but he that keepeth company with harlots spendeth his substance.
That's it. Do I need to break that down? I think y'all got right. That's where all your money is going.
Right.
If I was in Atlanta, I'd break down strip clubs. But since I'm here, you of course are just buying the whores out here. Y'all skip over all the stripping. Y'all just go straight to the sex. Go ahead, Malak.
Sir, when Captain McCall had read the numbers that illegal prostitution generates, the 5 billion, well, the Las Vegas Raiders are worth 3.1. They can buy the Raiders and
They can buy the Raiders.
Please.
And if I could, when I was on the plane coming here to Las Vegas, I kept noticing all these single girls, or like 4 or 5 girls who were together, all coming on the plane to Vegas and leaving together. I'm like, what's fun about 4 females coming together to go do it? You ain't got no dude with you. That was making more sense.
It's a work trip. All right, let me get it on. I'm playing. Go ahead, please.
I can't help but notice.
Go ahead.
The sister's not really laughing.
They don't have to laugh, bro. Everybody just do what you want as long as you keep your mouth shut while I'm teaching, all right? Everybody's fine. Go ahead. Please, whatever one we were just reading just now.
Do not prostitute thy daughter to cause her to be a whore, lest the land fall to whoredom.
That's a terrible thing. The land falls to whoredom. So think about how many thousands of years ago this was. And the Lord was telling us, you can't turn your daughter into a whore. Well, this scripture answers the question of how they became whores. You turned them into whores. That's what happened. Like, instead of protecting them, you used them. That's it. Instead of them being something precious, they were just pigs that you could eat. And after that happens long enough, then the land falls to whoredom. Now everyone is laying on the street homeless in a city that has a $5 billion industry. And everyone's homeless, and it's like a circle because the more homeless people, the more whores you'll have. And so this city needs poverty. You understand what that means? That means there is no way to fix the poverty here. Because if you fix the poverty here, you will destroy the #1 industry in the city. Poverty has to happen here, or else it totally destroys the most profitable industry you have. So this city and this country is going to make sure that you all are poor. Much like the NBA and the NFL needs you to go to jail, needs you to die, so that you will be willing to kill yourself to play football. The music industry needs you to get shot so that you will sign terrible music deals that you would not sign if you weren't poor. So there's no way that they will end poverty, because then you will not sign that contract. You want a better contract because you're not poor. Right? There's no way they will ever end poverty in this city. This land has fallen to whoredom. Everyone understands? Keep going.
And the land become full of wickedness.
And that's what happens. So once that starts out, it's like eating pork. Once you partake in prostitutes, and the women believe that being a prostitute is a job or a way they can pay their bills, oh man, what else are you going to do? You think they won't murder? You think there'll be no drug addiction? You think there'll be no robbery? Can you imagine what else will happen to a people that morally corrupt? You know, you can get sex for free. You understand this? You want to be with me on this one for a second. You can get dressed, wash, put on some of Captain Tazarayak's oil.
That's right.
Give him a hand. Give him some. And not. You can go and talk to a woman and be so kind and so gentle and so loving, and she will have sex with you for free. And have sex with you for free forever. And never have sex with anyone else. What's wrong with you? Like you don't have to do it. But that's how you have to look at your head. Like you got to see yourself, well, why? If I can have, once again, if I could have a wonderfully clean meal, why do I have to have pork? Right? Why do I need this? When I can eat lamb and deer and beef and every wonderful thing, and forget about all the fish in the ocean that are clean to eat. But you need, pork chops and pig feet? Now, give me the next question. Why is that then? What's wrong with the brother that doesn't want clean sex from his wife? He wants a whore. Why is he like that? Now, there's going to be an obvious answer that's wrong, and you're going to say it. Get it out the way. All right. Please.
So, he's trying to get revenge as well?
No. He's not trying to get revenge at all. Captain.
Because it's easy.
I'll take that. Give him a hand. I'll take it. With a man, it's not revenge. It's for the same reason they like pig feet and pork chops. Because they have tasted it before. You get my point? Like they've had it. Right? Most of you, that's the first time you had sex with a prostitute. Right? Or some girl that all your friends and you had sex with when you were 12. Right? And of course, that happened just like eating pork back when the Greeks were forcing us to eat pork. That happens again and again. And you become sexualized to sluts. And that's the only kind of woman you can even be attracted to. That rod won't even work if she's not a whore. It won't even activate. It won't even report for duty at all. Why? Because you've tasted that pork and your brain has been rewired. And if it happens when you're young enough, it can really rewire your brain. Like if it happens, when you're 11 and 12 years old, just like when a sister gets molested at that age, it can really rewire your head. And then you just like it, and it's absolutely easy. It's something that you can just have. It's like going to the store and buying something. And even the thought of the commitment that it would take to have clean sex and the work it would take to have clean sex. Forget about it if you want a woman in here. I mean, that's 1 year of work. That's a year of work to marry a sister in the school. That's right. 1 year. I'm telling you, leave the truth because you can't handle it, and you want to leave the school because you cannot wait a year to get this clean woman. You can't go through it, and you are right to leave the school. I can help you out if you want. I'll help you on your way out the door.
I'm gonna say pork is cheap. The cheapest.
Pork is cheap. It is. Give him a hand. Yes, it is. With the man, it's just ease. It's just lust, and he's sexualized to it. He has an addiction to it. You get the point.
Now, does this go anywhere back into when we go in the beginning, in the Garden of Eden, where we saw the other cultures?
Oh yeah, I mean you
And
definitely
that.
yeah, because of course I mean the heathens round about us, you know, they're all partaking in the whores, and it's so easy and it's so fly and it's so fun and it's so exciting, and their women are so desired, right? They're beautiful, right? Whores are beautiful. They're beautiful. They're the ones that everybody wants. And they have blonde hair and blue eyes, and everybody wants to have sex with them. And of course, our women become jealous of them.
Right.
They become jealous of Edomite women, of the daughters of the oppressors, and they want to be like them. Come on, in the back. Someone had their hand up. Go ahead.
Is it safe to say in the garden that Eve had sex with the serpent?
Nah, not at all. Eve did not have sex with the serpent. Eve listened to the serpent.
Right.
The serpent knew how to talk, just like he knows how to talk today. And he was convinced. The serpent convinced Eve to convince her husband to commit the first sin.
That's right.
Not sex at all. Come on. How do you know it wasn't sex? What happened after they did it? After the serpent beguiled Eve, what happened?
Adam was still married to her.
And the Lord found them walking in the midday in the garden. And he put coats of skins on them. He clothed them in their own culture and then kicked them out the garden. He did not divorce them. He did not separate them because that was still Adam's wife. All right? She was just as stupid as he was, and she was more stupid because she was naive.
Right.
She believed that serpent instead of the Lord who spoke through her man.
She voted for Biden.
Voting for Biden is a little, I'll take it. Yeah, well, at least don't be a whore, all right? I want you don't whore. Go ahead, go vote. don't whore yourself, all right? That's a rough way to come back from that. Go ahead.
That thing that you were speaking about a little earlier when you said he get twisted if he'd been exposed at an early age to like, you know, the horrors in the neighborhood. How does he untwist that?
Oh, that's going into the next part of this breakdown. Just stand by, right? What I want you to understand now is, let me explain. I'll let you inside of what I'm doing here, all right, so you can get it. What I'm trying to do right now is to do something that is vital to change. There's a part of change that is so vital that no one wants to deal with and no one wants to do. The only way you will ever change anything about yourself is to hate it, right? Shame is where change starts.
That's right.
Shame. And if this works tonight, you will be absolutely ashamed of what you have done. That's what you have to be. If you are not ashamed of it, you will never change it. No one changes anything about themselves they're proud of.
Right.
Why in the hell would you? Right? You gotta hate yourself. You gotta look at yourself and say, I hate who I am. I hate what I've done. I'm absolutely ashamed of it. I'm uncomfortable even talking about it. It makes me uncomfortable. I can't stand it. That is step one. Right. You have to start there. Right? And being a whore and purchasing whores has to be a shameful thing. It has to be something that everyone puts their head down and goes, oh my God, I'm disgusted. Right. Oh my God, I can't believe I did something like that. That's where we begin. Right. So I'm going to shame you for a few minutes more. So now let's go to this is good too. Hold on. Bear with me. Where did we just read just now? Leviticus 21:7. Leviticus 21:7 and then skip to 9. All right, go ahead.
Leviticus 21:7. All like you have it. They shall not take a wife that is a whore or profane.
This is in the law, right? This is talking to the priest and how they can't take a wife that's a whore. You can't marry a whore. That's for all you Captain Save-A-Hoes out there. Right. Tons of you think you can do that. You want to change her and help her. You can't do that because you're lying to yourself. You don't actually want to change her. Who can prove right now that when you go and marry a whore with the intention of changing her, you are lying to yourself? When you go to have sex with her and you say, well, now that I've had sex with her, now, you know, I only had sex with her really because I want to change her. That's really all I wanted to do. I just wanted to give her a better life. You know, how do you know that you are lying to yourself and you are just addicted to whores? And you had sex with her for the reason that anyone has sex with anything. It was just your lust. Please.
Because you're going to get another one.
No. No.
If I could, sir.
Come on.
Because you get up and leave right afterwards.
Okay, that's all true. But I'm trying to go into, this is foundational, what I'm trying to make you understand now. Brother A.
Because you feel ashamed after you do it.
No.
Because wouldn't you change her before you have sex with her?
Now you getting on to the point. Let me answer the question. Here's what you really know deep down. If she wasn't a whore, she would have never had sex with you in the first place. You get my point? Right. So you don't want to change her because if the only reason you got to have her is because she's a whore. So now what do you think now? You're going to thank you for having sex with me as soon as I, inboxed you. And now you flew down to my city, had sex with me, and I never met you. You know what? I don't like this about you. What? No. You do like this about her. Because this is the whole reason that you were even able to be together. The only reason you would even be with her is because she's a whore. Right. If she wasn't a whore, she would have done what? Turned you down. Right. She would have said no. She wouldn't have done it, and then you would have been angry because she turned you down. So you don't want to change her. You like her being a whore. And guess who knows that? Take a guess. She knows it. Or let her tell you this ubiquitous thing. Well, when you met me, I was like this. Let her tell you that 10 or 12 times. But when you met me, I dressed like this. You know what she's trying to tell you? I got you because I dressed like a whore. This is how we started. This is what you like, which means this is good. Me dressing like a slut is good. How do I know it's good? It got me you. This is how we all started. You think she's going to change it? No, she's not. You have given her positive reinforcement on how she should dress. She dressed like a whore, and she got you, and you're a wonderful man. You babysit the kids excellent. Right? And she got you. Well, now she's going to change the thing that helped her in life, which has got her a 24-hour day babysitter. She's not changing it. Anyway, let me move on. Where are we at now?
Verse 7. Neither shall they take a woman put away from her husband.
Ooh-wee. Neither shall they take a woman put away from her husband. Now think how strict that is. Like, brother, that's strict. That's the type of moral dignity that the Most High God wants in Israel. What does the Lord want in Israel then? Put the two together. The Lord wants a woman to have sex with one man for the rest of her life.
Right. That's right.
He doesn't want divorce.
Right.
He does not want that at all. He cannot stand it. Right. He does not want a woman give him a hand. I'll agree with that. Let's play that. He does not play that. He doesn't want it up. It stains our nation for a woman to be with multiple men. It's a stain to our nation, and the Lord God doesn't want it. And here's what you have to understand. In the Israelite school of UPK, no sister in this school, there is no sister that is not a virgin. All of them are virgins. Give them a hand. Every last one. The same way there are no brothers in here that have ever murdered anyone.
That's right.
There are no brothers in here that have ever went to jail for 10, 12 years. There are no brothers in here that have ever stabbed anyone, did credit card scams, armed robberies, right? None of us, because all of us started over. That's right. And every sister is allowed the chance to start over. Everybody understands. The precept you need for that is there's neither male nor female. You can give me that now, all right? Captain.
It's heavy that you said that because what that really does, us having whores in our nation, it doesn't profit us at all. But it does profit Las Vegas $5 billion.
Give him a hand. I mean, that's clear, right? Argue with that. Go ahead.
It was a show, a YouTube talk show that I was watching, and there was a lady from another country, and she was saying how single black women are like a driving force of the American economy because they don't build nothing, they shop, they constantly shopping, they constantly working, and constantly, not really keeping things to themselves at all. And they said it's like a driving force for the economy, like buying everything all the time from everybody. Asians propping up countries.
That's a fact. Give him a hand. Who can deny that?
Propping up Las Vegas.
Propping up Las Vegas. Where are we at right now?
Verse 9.
Are we done with 9?
Nah, we just finished 7.
Okay, go ahead, read 9.
Leviticus 21 and 9.
After that, give me Deuteronomy 22 and 21. Go ahead. Okay. And someone else, give me Jeremiah 3 and 3. Go ahead, Doc.
And the daughter of any priest, if she profane herself by playing the whore, she profaneth her father.
That's what happens, Once again, where does this all go back to? There is a man whose job it is to keep the purity of that girl. Now, that man is the one that destroyed her purity. Then how can this nation do anything other than fall to whoredom?
Right.
Like, it's the leader's responsibility. And the first leader is the father in the home.
Right.
Now, once he's destroyed, then that house will fall to whoredom. And once the house falls to whoredom, the land falls to whoredom. Right. Everyone understands. Where we do it? Go ahead.
She shall be burnt with fire.
Yeah, that's how they resolved that problem a long time ago. Right? Before Christ, that's how they resolved that problem. A whore was burned. I said earlier that there are different solutions to different crimes. Right? Some people got stoned, some people got burned. The prostitute got burned. She was tied to a wooden stake in the ground and set on fire. Please, up front.
It's like it, sir. In the book of Numbers, the 5th chapter, what did it mean when I believe it was talking about a woman that was on trial for committing adultery? Like I believe the priest would give her something to drink, and there would be like a rottenness in her thighs if she was guilty. I believe.
Yeah.
What was that about, sir? If I could.
I'll explain it briefly. All right. Keep it down, Akim. All right. Focus in. So now in the Bible, there's the law of jealousy. If you want to look that up, that's what you find that under, the law of jealousy, right? Let's say you are a man who you don't have any proof that your wife is a whore,
right,
but you're suspicious.
Right.
Right? It could be your own, insecurities, or it could be foundational. It could be something happening. You don't know about it. Well, there's a provision in the law for that kind of situation. The Lord said to take your wife down to the temple. The priest will sweep the temple floor, and they will combine the contents of the sweepings from the floor in a cup with water. And then they will have your wife drink the contents of the sweepings and the water. If she's fine and she does not throw it up, your wife is not a whore. Right. If she throws up the contents of the sweepings of the temple floor and the water, your wife is a whore. Right. And then you can divorce her and leave her. She's a slut. Now, give that a hand. Now, the temple, Solomon's temple, is gone. Right? It was taken by the Romans, taken by the Babylonians, destroyed. Does that mean, now, I'm trying not to give you this answer, what would you do now if you had suspicions that your wife was a whore? It could be your own insecurities, or that your insecurities could have a foundation. What would you do now?
Sweep the floors of the school?
No. That's a good way to get to COVID-19. Maybe she'll die from the COVID-19. No. Remember, I said the temple of Solomon is gone. It's gone right up front.
Bring it before the priest.
Give him a hand. See, the priests are still here. And that means the temple is still here.
That's right.
You know what happens? This is what happens. You bring your wife down to a council about her adultery, and you bring all of your cause for suspicion. And in that council, if she rejects it, then she's a whore.
Right.
If it stays in her, then she's not a whore. Do you understand? Because the temple is still here. It's still here. Everybody understands that.
If I could, just in real life, I've seen that such a scenario happen, and it's like an uproar. She trying to call everybody in the school about she this and he that. But then when the council was time, she didn't show up.
As is common. But let me tell you what I've also seen happen. I've seen brothers out make an allegation against their wife in the council that she's a whore, and I've seen the sister step into it. Step into it with honor, and she swallows it down. You get the point? She doesn't reject it, and then that allegation is proven not to be true. Right. And I of course also have seen when she's called to the council, either she doesn't show at all or she completely rejects it during the council, and she can't help herself because she's a whore. Right. Everybody understands. All right, good to go. All right, we done there?
God, we have.
Dog, let me know what time I got if you're in the room. Or anyone that knows how long I got in here, right?
8:45.
What time we in this? You wanna know?
9 o'clock, sir.
Oh shit. We got to be out.
15. Oh, out of here?
What time we gotta be out of this building?
Why?
I'm not sure. All right, let me wrap it. All right. Where are we at just now?
Deuteronomy 22. Did you want that? Deuteronomy 22 or something?
I think we good with that. Okay, hold on. Please.
If I had a question, Matt, just a little bit off topic, but what's the mindset when you're getting prepared for a camp speaking? Like
the mindset,
like the mind, like what are you thinking about? I know it's different topics, but preparing for a camp speaking, I'm just trying to.
As an officer?
Come.
Okay, so you're preparing for camp. Give me a little more of that question.
Like
a little more.
Trying to get your message across to the people, doing research, going from just precepts or watching other camp speakings, or doing research like how you bring out a lot of like articles and things like that in class where you learn where you're talking about the horrors from the 90s or whatever, the studies and stuff like that. Right. So it's
I'm listening to. Okay, how does that relate to your camp speaking though? Explain.
I'm just trying to see the mind state of watching your camp speakers. It just seems like you're identifying with the audience in a certain way, and so it's just something that's powerful.
Most are encouraged. I think I understand. Let me try to explain it, right? Okay, when you watch any senior officer in the school at his camp speaking, right? What you have to remember is he got like that through going to camp. That's all you need to remember, right? So now what's your mindset? Go to camp. Right. So now So now as you go to camp, what's your mindset? Have a topic. You pick a topic that week. When you're a new officer, you teach on the test. That will pass. And then you'll be able to pick with any topic that you want. Prepare for that topic. Be ready. Immerse yourself in that topic. Immerse yourself in the opposition to that topic. What are they going to say when you say what the Lord says? Right? Immerse yourself in it. Prepare for it. When it's your turn to speak, get on the mic and show the world your preparation blessed by God. And that's that. And you do that time after time, year after year. You do that time after time, camp after camp, winter after winter. Before you know it, some young brother's like, damn, what's your mindset? How in the hell did you do that? And it's done through repetition, man. Just repetition, just commitment to going. That's the whole key. Just saying I'm going out there, even though I could die.
That's right.
Even though I could go to jail.
That's right.
Even though it's cold, I show up. And in showing up, you learn how to speak.
Right.
Everybody understands.
I got a cheat code for him.
Go ahead.
Tune in to Scripture Breakdown class.
Shalom. Good enough. That'll help you with the scripture breakdown, but of course, you got to show up to camp and know how to go to camp. Going to camp is, is foundational in the work of the Lord. It's where we were all built and formed out there.
That's right.
I was laughing my ribs today. They was telling me how, with brothers going in the hotel, you can always tell someone that's in the school. Right? You can, whenever you see someone in the school, you know he's in the school.
Right.
You just know by the way he walks.
Right.
There's like some type of walk that brothers in the school have, and it stops you and goes, "Oh, that brother must be in the school." Lo and behold, he's in the school.
Right.
And that spirit comes from camp.
That's right.
It doesn't come from class.
That's right.
That spirit comes from camp. That walk and the way we carry ourselves, that comes from much warfare. You get the point? And over time, your walk changes, the talk, everything just changes. You just become the kind of cat that can stand on this street corner and say this thing.
That's right.
You get the point, right? I appreciate that. Right. Okay, now I think you understand that being a whore is wrong. Raise your hand if you don't, all right? Everybody gets that. Right? You understand you should not buy whores.
Right.
Or turn your daughters into whores. You get that. So here's the last question. How do you stop being a whore? How do you stop buying whores? Now we're going to there. Go ahead.
Salakia, can we use Romans chapter 7, verse 2?
Let me hear it.
Salakia, hold on.
Matter of fact, for time's sake, I'm going to have to run on you, all right?
Salakia, chapter, go ahead.
I'll just tell you if the precept is right. Give me a little bit of it.
Romans chapter 7, verse 7. What shall we say then? Is the law sin? God forbid. Nay, I had not known sin, but by the law. For I had not known lust, except the law had said, thou shalt not covet.
Your point is?
Meaning, knowing
that it's wrong, that the Lord is against it is step one. That's a fact. Give him a hand. That's a fact. All right? Okay, now, but what I would like to do now is to give you the spirit of the law. All right? And for you to understand the spirit of the law, I need you to go to Lamentations. All right? For those of you that don't know, the term lamentation means to cry. That's what the term means, right? Lamentation means to cry, or to lament means to cry. Lamentation means the cryings or the mournings. Everybody understands, right? So let's start at 3 and 1, and we'll skip down. 3 and 1, someone read, please.
The book of Lamentations, chapter 3, verse 1. I am the man that hath seen affliction by the rod of his wrath.
By the what?
The rod of his wrath.
This is Jeremiah the prophet. He wrote this. And he said, I am the man that have seen affliction by the rod of his wrath. The rod is a stick that sinners are beat with, right? And Jeremiah is saying, I've seen that affliction. The Lord is hurting me. He's destroying me. And the key to change is to hit rock bottom. It's to be absolutely ashamed of what you've done. You brothers who are still tempted with buying whores, you should be absolutely ashamed of yourself, and you are culpable to child molestation. If you go to a strip club, you are involved in the conspiracy to commit child molestation. If you go and steal a car and sell it, if you buy a stolen car, you're arrested for receiving stolen property. You're involved in the conspiracy. But yet a man can go and pay a woman to have sex, and yet this world doesn't make him culpable for the fact that she was molested, and that's the only reason she's for sale for you to have. You are involved in that conspiracy. You're part of her molestation. You fund her molestation. Without you, how would she ever be able to earn a living from being molested? You make sure that every molested child can have a job because of their molestation, and thereby create more molested children. You're responsible for that molestation. You're just as responsible as the man that did it.
Right.
Everybody understands. Well, you know what happens when you realize that? You get punished. You get hurt. Keep going.
He had led me and brought me into darkness, but not into light.
He had brought me, and that's what God has done, the Most High Yahweh, the God of Israel. He is the reason that whores have a terrible life. Like so many whores and men who buy whores, you wonder why your life is so terrible. Like you think you can be a prostitute and what? Have a wonderful life?
Right.
I mean, damn, like you think, like so many drug dealers kill me. I watch them all the time. I turn my goddamn phone on and they always on there for God knows what reason. Something I'm looking at probably. And you know what I always see? Some rapper saying, well, yeah, they arrested me and I'm going to jail. You've heard this your whole life. Okay, you ever see someone who's in jail, right? And that the way that spirit on them is like this is horrible, man. I'm not gonna get to see my kids. I grow up without my children. Children need a father. I don't get to have a child. I've been in here all these years. And as you hear it, it's like, and it pushes a button in everyone to go, damn, that is wrong to be in jail all them years. Brother, he got 20 years in jail. Damn, that's horrible. And you know why his story is so sad? Because the victim can't talk, right? Nobody hears. The cat he murdered, you don't hear his plea because he doesn't talk at all, right? The only one that can talk is the murderer. He can say, they gave me 25 years. What about my kids, my mom? You're going to destroy the black family because I'm going to be in jail and the children ain't going to have a father. The brother you killed, he doesn't get to talk about his family.
Right.
Because he's gone.
Right.
Right? And your crying can elicit sympathy on everyone. Right? Your crying and your tears. What if drug dealers didn't go to jail? Can you understand what would happen?
Right.
What if there was no penalty for murdering and creating an epidemic, the likes of which is really, to even understand the drug epidemic is hard to even wrap your brain around it, right? What if there was no penalty for it? Damn. Do you understand? Right. There has to be terrible days for doing something so destructive.
That's right.
And if you're a slut and a whore and an adulterer, you need those drugs to get by because your life is terrible.
Right.
Your life is supposed to be terrible. If you're a brother who's buying prostitutes and having sex with sluts and turning women into whores, your life is supposed to be terrible.
Right.
It's supposed to be hell. You're supposed to need drugs every night just to sleep.
Right.
Because you're in agony all the time. That agony is good for this nation.
Right.
It's good. Keep going.
Surely against me is he turned.
That's what he realized. The Lord is against me. The Lord, you have to face it. You have to face all of your adultery. And just so you know, prostitution and adultery is the same thing in the Bible.
Right.
It's just the exact same thing. And oh man, I meant to get into whoremongers. That's what I wanted to get into. As whoremongers, you just think of a preacher. A preacher is a whoremonger, right? A whoremonger. Does anyone know what a whoremonger is? That's a very biblical term. Come on.
A man that is in the business of having whores for money, selling whores. A pimp.
A pimp. That's what you need. A pimp. A pimp is a whoremonger. The term monger means purveyor of or seller of. That's a monger. A whore is a whore, right? And pimps are whoremongers, and pimps are biblically, I mean, some of the evilest and most disgusting and vile people that you can ever imagine. There is really nothing worse than a pimp. A pimp is a preacher. Right. They're exactly the same thing. They dress the same, drive the same car, talk the same, and they all have the same whores. Right. All of them. Right. They're exactly the same thing. And that is just the vilest thing in our nation. It always has been a pimp. It's disgusting. Of course, today, they're lauded as, heroes or something, I guess. Somehow they're wonderful. Somehow you admire some effeminate who turns your daughter into a slut. Somehow he's somebody for you to admire. Maybe you want your daughter to be a whore. Maybe that's why you admire pimps. Keep going.
He turneth his hand against me all the day.
All the day. God is against you, and that's why your life is terrible. Because you're a whore. You're cheating on that brother. You're having sex with other men. You're on Facebook flirting with your ex-boyfriend. You're talking to other men on Facebook. Why? Because you're a lonely, stupid slut. And so you can't even have social media without whoring on it.
Right.
Any form of communication you use for whoring. If we had smoke signals, you'd be whoring with smoke signals. Find a way. Poof, poof, poof. The whore. God damn, you can't be trusted with an electronic device. You can't. You find a way to slut on your phone. Somebody got your brother. If you're a brother out there taking your wife's phone, you're in a terrible situation. It gets absolutely emasculating to go on your wife's phone. It's emasculating, and you can feel it. You can feel that feeling of, let me see your phone. She in the shower. You in there getting in her phone. She can't take a damn shower. You in her phone. See who she talking to, because I'm so scared to lose her. Nigga, listen. Reading on. Let's go ahead. All right. Who is reading? Go ahead.
Verse 4. My flesh and my skin has made me old. It's like had he made old.
He made old. Now you're weary from all of your men that you've been with. All of your babies' daddies. All of your abortions. You're weary. You're worn down, old and unattractive. Taking every bit of that beauty that you used to destroy yourself. A lot of women, your beauty is the worst thing that ever happened to you. It would have been better if you were unattractive. You might have put some work into them goddamn school books. That's right. If you could have been a little less pretty. You might have actually decided to put something in your dumb ass head. But because your breasts grew early, now your whole life becomes about these breasts. Your whole life becomes about selling the easiest thing you have, which is your ability to provide lust to men. So now it was the worst thing that ever happened to you. Come on. The what? Proverbs 22:11. It was the worst thing that ever happened to you to have any good looks. Guess what? They're leaving too. Right. Because you're going to look old and dry and terrible. Right. You need to. Otherwise, you keep whoring. You get so unattractive, you might have no reason, nothing to do but get a goddamn job.
Right.
Go read what he had.
Proverbs 11:22. As a jewel of gold in a swine's snout,
forget about it.
So is a fair woman which is without discretion.
I said, what's discretion? Who knows? Judgment. If a woman is beautiful, but she can't make choices, she's like a jewel in a pig's nose. Meaning what? The jewel is expensive. You like to have it, but I can't touch that unclean pig. So even though I want it, I can't have it. That's a woman who can't make choices. And now here you are, you done decided to have sex with her. Why? Because it was easy. Because she answered your friend request at 3 a.m. Because when you inboxed her, she was awake, hunting men all goddamn night, getting high. And so are you. You sitting home getting high, plotting on ways to subvert the judgment of the Lord in here. And all we're going to do is find out about you and kick you right out the school. Laugh about you after you're gone. Thank you. Keep going. What was reading? Skip down 3 more verses.
The liberal soul.
I'll take it.
Proverbs 11 and 20.
No, not that. I'm sorry. We done with that. Okay. Give me where we were reading before. Was it Lamentations? 3? Okay, skip down to 9.
The book of Lamentations, chapter 3, verse 9.
I'm sorry, 8.
Verse 8. Also, when I cry and shout.
Also, when I cry and shout, I scream, Lord, Lord, Lord. Go ahead.
He shutteth out my prayer.
He shuts out your prayer. That's what happens. Let me help you out with that. Going to church won't help. It won't help at all. Jesus, Lord, Jesus, Lord, 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 Lord. Read that again, please.
Also,
no, read that again.
Oh, he shut it out.
Read it again.
Prayer.
No, read it. Go to the top.
Also, when I cry and shout.
There you go. When I cry and shout. And so many whores think going to church and just making a big scene in church will change everything about my life. Right. I know what I'm gonna do. I done whored for all these years. I'm going to church and I'm just going to scream for 3 hours in church. That'll fix it. Like once I scream enough in church, surely I won't desire being a slut anymore. Right. Guess what? You still do. Right. And all of those women in church screaming, all of them can be had on Facebook and Instagram. All of them. Right. All of the that church jumper, that thing getting up and down, waggity, 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 waggity. You can have that later. Every brother can have that. Yelling in church does not fix sluts. Right. The church is full of sluts, and they all scream and shout. Read it one more time.
Also, when I cry and shout, he shutted out my prayer.
You are screaming and crying and shouting that Jesus, Lord. And he shuts out your prayer. Right. He's not going to fix you. Right. You want to be fixed, but he's not going to do it. And I'll explain why. Because you don't want to be fixed. Right. You understand? You don't want to be. Here's what being fixed is to a whore and a drug addict. This is what drug addicts think. You smokers, you think this. Being fixed is, make me not want cigarettes. Make me not want a man's affection. Make me not want the attention of men. Get rid of the desire to sin. And you pray for Jesus to deliver you from it. And he doesn't even hear your prayer, and he shuts it from his ears so he can't hear it. Because this is what you actually need. You need to want to whore and not do it. Right. That's the only key. It's like an addict saying, I'm going to stop smoking the minute I don't want to. Well, you're going to smoke forever. Because when the hell are you ever going to not want to feel so good? Right. To be so comforted? Right. To have that tingle all over your body? You're going to want to do it forever. And if you're waiting to stop when you don't want to, you don't want to stop. Right. Rocket tell you how wild y'all was shot. Where you at now? Verse 9. Now skip me down to 12.
Verse 12. He had bent his bow and set me as a mark.
Now, then, before you know it, brother, you whores and you whoremongers, or you people, brothers who buy whores, you start to realize God is against you. Now you start to see that he has bent his bow. Keep going.
And set me as a mark for the arrow.
And you're the bullseye. You start to see that God has it out to get you. He's trying to destroy me. Everything I do fails. I'm losing my house. I'm being evicted all the time. And without those evictions, you would never look at your life. You would never look at all the men you're sleeping with and all the sluts you're having sex with. But because of the evictions and the repossessions and the homelessness, it makes you go, oh my God, what's wrong? God is against me. Right. And that's the beginning. Right. Keep going.
He had caused the arrows of his quiver to enter into my reins.
A quiver is that sack that arrows sit in. So he goes into his quiver, pulls out an arrow, and he is killing me. God is against me, and I can't escape him. There's only really one solution. Keep going. Stop right there. Where you at?
Verse 14.
You're going to skip down to 17. 18.
Verse 18.
Come on, 1 second. Go ahead.
So it said he causes the arrow of his quiver to enter into his reins, right?
That's correct.
What does that mean?
What are your reins? There's a precept for that. The reins are
the things that control you.
The things that control you. He is killing the thing that controls you. He's aiming for it. He's trying to destroy it. You are controlled by lust. A lot of women, you're controlled by revenge and the past. That's what I got to get to. But the Lord is aiming for it. And he's coming to get it. He's coming to get you at the heart of the problem. Not at the thing that you think you're looking to change. I will stop it. So as long as I stop feeling this, I'll stop the action. When the key is to feel it and not do the action. If you can do that, you change. Now here's the problem. The only way you will feel it and not change is if the repercussion is so terrible that it makes you ignore what you want. Right? You might want a piece of steak, but if it's in a fire, you're not willing to be burned to pull it out. And that's what has to happen with whoring. Keep going.
Lamentations 3:18. And I said, my strength and my hope is perished from the Lord. Remembering mine affliction and my misery, the wormwood and the gall.
Wormwood and gall are poisons. Those are poisons. And he's saying the Lord is killing me. The Lord is poisoning me. Keep going.
My soul had them still in remembrance, and is humbled in me.
My soul, read that again. What verse are you in?
Verse 20.
3? You in Lamentations 3?
Come on. Lamentations 3, verse 20.
Okay, go away. Go ahead and read.
My soul had them still in remembrance.
My soul hath them still in remembrance. What's still in remembrance? I'm sorry, keep going.
And is humbled in me.
And is humbled in me. My soul hath them still in remembrance. What's still in remembrance?
I mean, you still want to do the things you used to do.
It is humbled in me. That's what you need. I might have to give it to you. Hold on. 19 is what you need. Read 19 quickly.
Remembering mine affliction and my misery.
That's what you need. My soul hath them still in remembrance in me. What does your soul remember? Your misery and your affliction. Now, in this pain, you know what starts to come to you? When I was molested. When I was raped. When my father left me. When my mother abandoned me for some man who was molesting me. I told her he was molesting me, and she said, you're a whore, you're fast, you're lying. And before you know it, your brain starts to go there. After you hit rock bottom. Once your life is so terrible, then you start to do an autopsy of your life.
Right.
You start to put it together like, how in the hell did I end? Oh, wait a minute. My mom, my father, my neighborhood. The misery comes back to you. Because without the tragedy in your life, what is your life? You're a whore. Which means what? You're the most popular girl in any room. Right. That's what that means. That means that means your whole likes, break it down for me. What's the thing?
Your notifications.
Oh, your thing is full of attention. Your whole social media thing is the DMs. Your thing is full of likes, and I like you, and I want to meet you. I want to talk to you. Your Instagrams, all of your stuff is busting out the seams because you're a slut. And you would have no misery if not for God punishing you everywhere you turn. You would just be a beautiful girl that everyone wants to talk to. Well, that misery is going to make you wonder about your life. The molestation will come up. It'll happen. You'll put it together on your own. Keep going.
This I recall to my mind.
This what?
This I recall to my mind.
And it starts to come back to you. Now I get it now. I thought I was having a ball. I thought I was having fun, right? Being a whore seems like fun. Buying whores seems like a party. Right? It seems like, like you buy a bottle of liquor and everyone drinks it. That's what a woman has become. The Bible talks about that in Deuteronomy. That they have sold a woman for a bottle of wine. Like a woman becomes something everyone just passes around and gets drunk. And that's not what she actually is. She's your daughter. That's what she actually is. But she becomes something that everyone can just share in and get drunk off of. Without misery, you would never realize how terrible your life is. How you would just be the most popular girl in high school. Keep going.
Therefore have I hope.
Therefore have I what?
Hope.
Therefore have I what?
Hope.
Now we're getting to how you fix it. Therefore have I hope. Once you get to the point that you realize that this is not a fun lifestyle, this is not me being a free woman who doesn't have to be ashamed of what she do. How come men can have sex with multiple women and yet a woman can't have sex with multiple men? How come I can't just do what this? I know it all seems like you're just a real, what's the word they use for women like that?
Feminist, empowered.
Feminist, empowered woman. I get you. You're very empowered. That's what you are. That's why you're having sex with all those men. It had nothing to do with you being raped, right? And nothing. It's not about that. It's about your power. Right? You're just powerful. That's why you have sex with all those strangers, because you're powerful and mighty. You're a Wonder Woman. That's what you are. And that's why you have sex with all those men. Or we could stop lying to ourselves, and we could start to realize, you could start to remember how you actually got like this. Keep going.
It is of the Lord's mercies that we are not consumed.
Read that again.
It is of the Lord's mercies that we are not consumed.
Let me tell you where you get to once you realize how you got to where you are. You'll realize that the Lord is so merciful that though you've done all of those crimes and you've lived the way you've lived, you're still alive. You survived those things. You know what you should be? Instead of a child that was molested and now wants to put her pain on other people, you should be a woman who survived molestation. Right. You survived that. You survived that neighborhood you lived in, Ak. You're not dead. Right. That is a goddamn miracle to me. Right. Like the fact that everyone else is dead, everyone else is in jail forever. I'm not. There are sisters who have survived rape, survived the molestation, survived it. You are a conqueror. Overcome it. Like you're not some filth that everyone can have. You are an absolute hero because of what you have survived. Right. The Lord in his mercy has not destroyed you. Right. You're still here. And because you're still here, you can be fixed. Right. Everyone can be changed because the judgment is not final yet. Right. Read that part again and then read the rest of it.
It is of the Lord's mercies that we are not consumed.
Keep going.
Because his compassions fail not.
Read that again.
Because his compassions fail not.
Read it again.
Because his compassions fail not.
Let me tell you, I'll get you in 1 second now. The same Lord out there destroyed your life, had you be evicted all those times, made you lose your children. Right? That same God, Ak, will have compassion on you that will not fail. He'll forgive you for what you've done.
That's right.
He will absolutely wipe away your slate. And you'll be brand new. And he will not charge you for anything you have done in the past. Anything at all. All you have to do is commit as if you were a person that was given a reprieve on a death sentence. That's right. You become that brother. You become that sister. And you don't, then now you stop being a victim to child molestation, and now you are a survivor of child molestation. Please, any more? I gotta find something real fast before I forget. Give me, someone else hold that. And give me Isaiah 50 and 5 to 6. What do you have? See me one more time. Give me a short one, please.
Just a precept. Romans 12 and 21. Be not overcome of evil, but overcome evil with good.
Give that a hand. That's hardcore. Forget it, please. If you don't mind. If you don't mind, I appreciate that. Say again. Give me the liquor in that. The chaser in that. Throw out someone else. Give me Isaiah 50 and 4, 50 and 5. So now I'm giving you the whole rundown. So now you're in hell, you're locked up in jail, you're in the abortion clinic, you just left with the blood running down your leg from having your last abortion, right? With the bloody, the bloody gauze all over yourself from your last abortion. You're evicted, you're homeless, you're living on somebody's couch, right? You're scraping up money just to get high every day. And you lay there and go, this is terrible. God is putting me through a punishment. And then you realize that God is merciful above all things. And the same God that destroyed me can rebuild me. And then you get right there. And now we'll continue. Keep going. This, the one I just asked.
Isaiah chapter 50, verse 5. The Lord God has opened mine ears.
So now you are ready to hear. Now you start listening to Command and General Yohana. So listen, give a hand to every sister that's in the UPK. And I'll explain why. Because it is absolutely difficult to be a woman and be in the UPK.
That's right.
It's difficult by design. It's not, it's not coincidental that it's difficult. Command and General Yohana wants it to be extremely difficult for men to come into the truth. He wants it more difficult for women to come into the truth. Precept.
I've seen out of 1,000. I've seen.
See, it's in the Bible. That's the reason for everything we do, right? Of 1,000 men, have I found but one man in 1,000. This school has to be so difficult that really only 1 in 1,000 men can come in here.
Right.
Of women, I have seen none.
Right.
This school has to be so difficult that you got to get about 5,000 women to find one woman that will come into the truth. That's by design. That's so we don't become a whorehouse.
Right.
That's so we never become preachers and pimps.
Right.
Everybody understands? Because why? Because of the great temptation that comes with women. I appreciate it, Warren. Right? Because once again, when it comes to sin, women are the pork. So if you begin to change what you teach to make women comfortable, you will eat that pork, and then you will become a pimp. Then you will become some filthy sinner, and then you'll be God's enemy. Everybody understands? Read that again.
Come on, Khan. Isaiah chapter 50, verse 5. The Lord our power hath opened mine ear, and I was not rebellious.
I was not rebellious. Now I'm ready to shut my mouth.
That's right.
Some of you sisters, this is the first time you ever learned to shut your mouth.
Right.
Give yourselves a hand.
That's right.
Learn that. You learn to shut your goddamn mouth in here. And I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. I see your progress. I want you to keep continuing your progress. Right? You learn to shut your mouth. Now you're ready to hear. Now you're not full of talk in your neck and your hands on your hip and running your mouth. Now you're not treating the priest the way you treat the girl in Popeyes.
Right.
She can't do anything right. Your waitress can't do a goddamn thing right ever. That fork ain't never clean enough. The spoon ain't never clean enough. You ain't never got enough napkins.
Right.
Please.
On the way here on the airplane, right when it was almost over, the stewardess asked the lady, "You put your bag up, we about to land." Well, why I need to put my bag up now? We're about to land anyway. Well, it's a crucial part of. Now get the hell you Paul hand on move again. For the rest last 20 minutes, that Paul hand on this.
Oh, of course. That woman had the nerve to tell her anything that she doesn't want to hear. So many women think that that's feminine. You damn near think that's what comes with being a woman. That's not feminine.
Right.
It's not feminine to be stubborn and hard-headed and to be someone that doesn't want to hear. That's not feminine. That's wicked.
That's right.
No man should be like that.
Right.
No woman should be like that. It has nothing to do with you being a woman. You are just absolutely hard-headed, and that's why you're going to be killed. That's why you're going to get AIDS. You're going to be shot dead. You're going to die in car wrecks. You're going to get that COVID-19 virus and get killed. It is going to happen because you're so goddamn stubborn that someone has to break your knuckles to get you to shut your goddamn mouth. That's the only way you will shut up. Well, you sisters, you've learned to shut up. Give yourselves a hand. This sister, she's ready to hear now. This whore is ready to hear. Keep going.
Come on, Khan. Neither turned away back.
Neither, now here we go. Neither turned away back. Now you're being chastised. You're being told what to do. And you don't turn back. Why? Because that spirit of being a bitch in you will do what when you're chastised? Turn and go right back to what you're doing because you get mad. Right? You get mad. Someone is calling you a whore. Right. Someone is calling you a bitch. Right. They can't stand the fact that we say the word bitch. Saying the bitch is like radioactive. This the term. The term bitch is radioactive. There's no phrase of a man that is radioactive. Right. You can surely call a man a nigger, a deadbeat, a no good for nothing nigga. Like, give me some more.
Scrub.
A bum, a scrub, there's no term that a man that you cannot say. Why? Why? Because women demand it because they're so emotional and they cannot take criticism. They can't take it. Here's the problem. You deserve to be criticized. There are women that deserve to be praised. Those women exist. They exist in the UPK. Please believe that. That's in the Bible. And there are other women that deserve criticism. And if you do, you have to take it. Or else you'll be broken until you're ready to take the criticism. Keep going.
Count on one card. Verse 6. I gave my back to the
I'm sorry, I skipped over that. Read that first part again. So you didn't turn your back on the chastisement, on the Lord trying to change you. But what did you do?
Neither turned away back.
You didn't turn your back on the correction. But for you to stop being a whore or a promiscuous woman, you are going to have to turn your back on someone. And this is integral in your change, right? You're going to get checked and chastised for being a whore. You cannot turn your back on that chastisement. You can't say, I've heard enough, and get up and leave class. I've done that to many of us sisters. They go, that's enough. I'm out of here. Goodbye. I see them over there talking to the guard. The guard like, okay, sis, get the hell up out of here. And they like, that is enough. I've heard enough. I didn't come down here to be called a bitch for 10 times. I'm out of here. And they leave. I get you. But there are other sisters, however, though. They won't turn their back on the chastisement, but they will turn their back on someone. They'll do that. I'll explain. Keep going. I did not turn back. I'm sorry. Where you at? 5? I get you. I'm sorry. What, Isaiah, right?
Isaiah
50 and 5.
It's like my phone tripping.
No problem. Read 5.
Isaiah chapter 50, verse 6.
Please.
And I gave my back to the smiters.
Read 5 again.
Isaiah chapter 50, verse 5. The Lord God hath opened mine ear, and I was not rebellious.
I didn't rebel against it. I accepted it. Keep going.
Neither turned away back.
When I got corrected, I didn't turn away back.
Right.
Keep going.
Verse 6. I gave my back to the smiters.
Read that again.
I gave my back to the smiters.
Read that again.
I gave my back to the smiters.
This is how you stop being a whore.
Right.
Instead of turning your back and going back into the world, when a priest in the UPK tells you to not be a whore and to not be a bitch, turn your back on the people who hurt you.
That's right.
Turn your back on them. Right? Like, they're the ones who molested you.
Right.
Like, how many of you leave the UPK to go back to who? Your family?
Right.
That's who you're leaving us for. You leaving us for your family? Turn your back on the smiters. Right. You know what smite means, right? The people who actually hurt you.
Right.
That you never turn your back on them.
That's right.
But the UPK, you can leave the truth and I'm going back to my mama. Your mother? Her?
Right.
That's who you leaving us for.
Right.
Your mom.
Right.
Are you serious? Who you going back to? Your pop? Your uncle? You going back to them? Turn your back on the people who hurt you. That's what you should do. Don't turn your back on the people who are telling you how to fix yourself. The only way to keep you around is to molest you. That's the only way to keep you around. The only way to keep you on the hook is to hurt you. Then you never leave. You stay around there. You go to the damn family reunion. Uncle's sitting right there and molested you. Right. He's sitting there in the goddamn chair. You're there every year, every Thanksgiving, sitting across the table from the cat that molested you. Turn your back on him, not One West.
That's right.
Turn your back on them.
That's right.
Keep going.
And my cheeks to them that plucked off the head.
And my cheeks, I'm going to turn my cheeks to them that plucked off my hair. Instead of me standing there in their face, I'm going to go, you plucking off my hair, I'm out. I'm leaving. I'm not going to stay with you because you are how I got like this. Mom, uncles, cousins, neighborhood, friends, church. You're the people that plucked out my hair. I'm turning my cheek on you.
That's right.
I'm out.
Right.
I'm out. And that's why Christ said, turn the other cheek. Why? Because the only way to really be free from wicked people in the world is not to continue to look for revenge.
Right.
Is not to seek revenge, but to flee.
Damn right.
To be gone. You hit me, I'm out. I'm not trying to kill you. I'm not trying to get revenge. Just don't ever call me again.
That's right.
And I'm done. Shalom. I'm turning my cheek here, and I'm out. Any more? Please.
I was gonna say, if they could, they call that nowadays, they calling it toxic. This person's toxic, that person
good
is
enough.
toxic, relationship and all of that.
Get rid of them. Your mother is toxic. That's for damn sure. And your aunts and your cousins and the whole Christmas congregation. Keep going.
I hid not my face from shame.
I didn't read that again.
I hid not my face from shame and spitting.
I didn't hide my face from shame and spitting.
Right.
I knew they were going to what? Hate me. I didn't hide my face from it. From shame or spitting. I'm leaving. I'm done. I'm not going to be the thing that you created. Mom, dad, cousins, neighborhood. I'm not being that. And I'm going to be bold about it. I'm not hiding my face from the shame and the spitting because I don't come over for Christmas anymore. I don't come over for Thanksgiving anymore. I'm bold about it.
That's right.
Give him a hand. And I love something else that's beautiful on this topic too. Is a sister who is not a slut, but has a man who has multiple wives. Sisters in the UPK, I see you're not ashamed of that. Give yourselves a hand, man. You ain't ashamed of that at all. Somebody comes and says, which one of you is his wife? We're both with him. All of us are with him. You don't hide from the shame or the spitting. You just step into it. Yeah, we're all with him. All of us. He's our husband. And that type of spirit is how you are clean from what they created. They created a whore. Your father turned you into a whore. We read that in the Bible. That's how this land fell, because men who were in charge turned their children into whores. So now what? You better start over, turn your back to them, turn your cheek to them, and don't be ashamed that you're not with them anymore. Don't be ashamed of it. Keep going.
Verse 7. For the Lord God will help me.
Read that again.
For the Lord God will help me.
Read that again.
For the Lord God will help me.
That's in the Bible. The Lord God will help any repentant sinner. He'll help you. He'll take your life and he'll change you. And there is no whore that is worse than me. None. There is no one in this room that was a worse person in the world than me. Ask the police. Ask the FBI. Ask the neighborhood. There ain't nobody as bad as I was. And General Yohana accepted me into this school. He let me come in here. He let me come in here. And there's no one that cannot receive the Lord's mercy. Wait, hold on. Keep going.
Therefore shall I not be confounded. Therefore have I set my face like a flint.
You understand that? Now you're in the truth now. And you're hardcore about it. Literally hardcore, which is what Flint is talking about. Hard. Like now you're a cult leader now. There's a lot, give him a hand. I see a lot of good cult leaders in this room. Give Lockwoff a hand. Lockwoff is a straight up cult leader. Damn right. Jabbar Moss, he's a cult leader. Kapash, a cult leader. These guys are a ton of all around the room. Cult leaders everywhere. I see you. I see you all around the room. And that's the way you're going to have to be, or else these faggots will soften you. And before you know it, you'll become that thing that they wanted you to become. Any more? I got to wrap it. There's something else I'm missing with the Lord's mercy gives daily. I think it might be back at Revelation, then I'm done. Any questions before I wrap this? Tell me now. Hold on. Who is among you feared the Lord? Where was the other one in that in Revelations? What chapter was that in Revelations? 3, right?
Jeremiah.
I'm sorry, Lamentations 3.
Lamentations 3, sir.
Give me Lamentations, the 3rd chapter, 3 and 21. It's the last one. Any questions? That's it now.
The book of Lamentations.
Hold on. I asked you, did you have any questions? All right. Please, whoever had the
Lamentations chapter.
So, any questions? It's all right. No big deal. Just go ahead and ask. All right, no sweat. All right, go ahead. Go ahead, Malakwa.
Lamentations chapter 3, verse 21. This I recall to my mind, therefore have I hope.
Read that. I'm sorry. Read 20. I'm sorry.
20?
20, please.
My soul had them still.
I'm sorry, 19. Go.
Remembering mine affliction and my misery, the wormwood and the gall. My soul had them still in remembrance, and is humbled in me. This I recall to my mind. Therefore have I hope.
Damn right.
Keep going. It is of the Lord's mercies that we are not consumed.
Keep going.
Because his compassions fail not.
Keep going.
They are new every morning.
Read that again.
They are new every morning.
Read that again.
They are new every morning.
That's a God worth serving, man. That's a God worth serving. Every morning. Can you fathom that? Like every morning, man. Every morning that you wake up, you could take advantage of his mercy today. Today you could say, you know what, I've been a whore my whole life. I've had sex with whores my entire life. This is really the only way I know how to have sex. This is really the only way I know how to have a relationship is like this. And then that next morning you could change. You could do it. Every morning, read it one more time.
They are new every morning.
Every morning. That's the benefit of being a descendant of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
That's right.
Now, you could take advantage of the benefit of your blood, and you could change. And you do not have to be the way you were. You don't have to be the way that your circumstance or your environment created you. You can create yourself. Right. You could do it. You could decide to create yourself. And no one, if they had a choice on how they wanted to be, would make the choice you made.
Damn right.
No one would. You have anything else, sir?
Come, sir.
Go ahead.
Great is thy faithfulness.
That's talking about the Most High. What does that mean? The Lord's faithfulness. He keeps his word. That's what that means. He keeps it, man. And you can change. You don't have to be the way you are. And you can come into the UPK. And once again, every woman in the UPK, none of you has ever known a man until marriage.
Right.
Every woman that comes into school, you're doing your 90 days. Once that year comes for you to be married, that brother is receiving a woman who has never known a man.
Right.
Give me there is no male or female, and I'm wrapping it with that. That's in the New Testament. Come on.
Come on. Like, this just sounds like a commercial for the truth. That's all it is.
Well,
I mean, it sounds like you've been poisoned before in your life. You ever been poisoned?
I didn't think about it like that, but he's right.
Every day you can just get, you know what I'm saying?
Come on with it. Well, Most High in Christ in the back. Go ahead.
So like I said, I got a precept. 2 Corinthians 5.
God damn, I ain't see you over there. That's a cult leader right there. That's good. Go ahead.
2 Corinthians chapter 5 and 17. Therefore, if any man be in Yahushua, he is a new creature.
That's the Bible, brother.
Old things are passed away.
Old things are passed away. All of that mess of the past. You know, that cat that did that to you, you turn the other cheek on him. That's it. He did that, whatever. I'm out. You know, that person who you molested died a long time ago.
That's right.
That woman is not here anymore. So whatever harm she took is gone, and whatever harm she did is gone. You're free. You turn your cheek to them. Keep going.
Behold, all things are become new.
Everything. Everything is brand new. New name, new friends, new country, new everything.
Damn.
Anything else? You got the one I asked for?
Come on.
Go ahead.
This is the book of Galatians chapter 3 verse 27. For as many of you as have been baptized into Christ have put on Christ.
You know what baptized means? Meaning you've been cleansed and now you become like Christ. Keep going.
There
Is
is
the male or female?
come on.
Go ahead.
There is neither Jew nor Greek.
There is neither Jew nor Greek, meaning if you are baptized, if you've been cleansed, and now you are living your life the way Christ said to live your life, not your molester. Your molester, he wanted you to be just the way you are. He wanted you to be someone who keeps secrets, right? You know how so many whores, sluts, they keep a lot of secrets, right?
Right.
Well, guess what? That molester, he wanted you to keep that secret. He wants you to shut your mouth about it. Don't tell your mom. Don't tell your teachers. Keep your mouth shut. And now you're a grown woman, and you got all kinds of secrets in your life. Just like he wanted. You still obey your child molester. You still listen to him. He's been gone for years, and you're a grown woman, but you still shut your mouth. You won't tell anybody about the sex you're having. You keep your mouth shut, just like he wants. Turn your back on him.
That's right.
Turn your back on him. Turn your face to the people that plucked out your hair. You can become brand new. And in the school, in Christ, keep going.
There is neither bond nor free.
There's neither bond nor free. What does it mean to be bond? A slave. What does it mean to be free? Not a slave. In the UPK, there are brothers that have to work a slavery every day. And give yourselves a hand for fighting your way down here, man.
Damn right.
It's difficult. Why? Because you're a slave. You're in bondage. If you don't go to work, you lose your house, you lose your income, you're going back to the goddamn streets, living outside without a job. But in the truth, there is neither bond nor free. There are some brothers who are rich and have money, and yet in here, they're servants. You understand? In the truth, there is neither bond nor free. Keep going.
There is neither male nor female.
There is neither male nor female. And this is the one place on the earth where there is no sexual bias.
Right.
That's the one West. In the UPK, there is an extremely heavy burden on men, and women will carry the same burden.
Right.
There is no difference in the UPK between the burden that a man carries and women carry. And there is nowhere you can say that. Nowhere on the planet Earth can you say that there is no bias when it comes to sex.
Right.
There's a bias everywhere but in the UPK. And here, a brother is going to have to walk a straight line or he's out.
Right.
A woman will walk that same line or she's out.
Right.
Right.
I relish in kicking sluts out of the school. I've done it a few times, not many. Because once again, that type of woman doesn't come into the UPK. But when I find them, I relish in the fact of kicking them out to school, of keeping our ranks pure. And I relish in the fact of keeping a coward out of this school. I relish in the same duty. Right? Why? Because it has to be that way. Because in Christ there is neither Jew nor Greek. What's a Jew or a Greek? Someone raised up into the truth. That's not many people. Captain Ariel was raised up in the truth. A few other young brothers. Your young son, young brother right here, he's raised up in the truth. A couple of young brothers. Young brother right here, you want a thon, raised up in the truth. Never been in the world, right? He would be a Jew. The rest of us would be Greeks.
Right.
We all used to be in the world, used to celebrate Christmas, but now we've changed. There's one law to all of us. Yawanathan has to follow the same rules that I have to follow. Everybody understands? Keep going.
For ye are all one in Yahushua Mashiach.
Read that again.
For ye are all one in Yahushua Mashiach.
We're unified, brother, in that. We're unified in that under God's law. All of us will keep it. No, none of us will give any excuses to not keep it.
Right.
The same way we will never hear a brother's excuse for selling drugs. I had to take care of my daughter. Nobody wants to hear that in here. Nobody wants to hear, why are you selling drugs, brother? Because I had to pay for diapers for my daughter. Shalom, get out of here. You're not a member in the UPK. Give me your Hebrew Academy cover and get the hell out of here. Right? Well, guess what else? If you're a whore, I don't want to hear that you didn't grow up with your daddy. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear none of that garbage that you tell preachers. You know, hey, you cheated on your husband, you committed adultery, yeah. Well, you know, no one ever loved me. I've never been loved. You know, a lot of times I can't even love myself. I hear you. Love whoever the F you want out of these doors. Because you're gone.
Right.
I'm stripping you of your Hebrew name and any self-respect you have.
Right.
Because in here, there is neither Jew nor Greek, bond nor free, or male or female. All of us are one in Christ. With that, pass the class over. Say your name, word.
Still cursing.
This ain't where I came in.